Kusile malanga lamahle wakey welcome ehleleni Kusile breakfast show kunguwo umsombuluko siyanivusela malanga lamahle siyathemba ukuthi impela sonto beniphethe kahle niyachubeka kulandzela tonke imiso lethi bekwe nguhulumende welive la Eswatini tegoma kwanza komkhuhlane iCovid-19 lapha eveni luhlelo Kusile breakfast show lethola ngumsakado weditfombe Eswatini TV lunye kuyinyanga yendlovana umnyaka wa 2021 libito lami ngingisamgelswe ngwakakhoza njengoba lomuhla kunguyo umsombuluko malanga lamahle nayigabancana insimbi yesithupha sitabuka sona simo semkhuhlane iCovid-19 lapha eveni siyabona ama cases la achubeka ayenyuka donat nombolo tebambu labatfolakala nawo lomkhuhlane lapha eveni kepha langa layitolo sibonile ukuthi ngasitehlile kancane sukela live la Eswatini laqala phela kunasigaba sesibili sawo lomkhuhlane eminyakeni lophelile ngenyanga yelweti sibonile ukuthi only 45 cases la folakele banike bambu labashile ngawo lomkhuhlane bathathu bani labashile ngawo lomkhuhlane lapha eveni elangeni layitolo sithembisa ke silive silama cases atochubeka ehle njengoba uhulumende welive la Eswatini simbonile kubanjiswa nguye emhlaplangene ekubanjiswa live la seNgilandi sekukhona ke buchwepheshe lese bakhona lapha eveni kutobambisa live phela ekulweni nawo lomkhuhlane kana igabanca yona insimbi yesikhombisa sibagathile bakazithande athletics club so sibukisana phela kabani njengoba bamla abanyenti kulesikhathi lesibahleti khona emakhaya yini labangakwenda kuze bachubeke phela bathi lolonge emtimbe wabo kuze utokhona ubengilolo oqinile utokhona kumelana netifo letinyende kufaka ikhathi wona umkhuhlane iCovid-19 Lositshela thi ngaphi ama exercises lesingawenda sihlede endlini mekisa singasebenzisa ini futhi maybe basinike even nema tips ayi diet lesingakhona kuyisebenzisa kulesikhathi lesisala nawo umkhuhlane iCovid-19 naletinye nje tifo nangabe ikakhulu kade you are stressed a lot is happening balahlekelwa dihlobo tabo abantu balahlekelwa ngumsebenzi siyabona all around bashia emhlabeni there is a lot that is happening around us yini ke lesingayenda kuze into khona ukuthi my mind at least ibe relieved of le stress lekhona maybe umtimba lothi uyasitfola that ivela ke kubo bakazithande athletics club unayigabanca yona insimbi yesikhombisa lesikhathi manje siyakhona etitolo nasibuya netinzawo ade futhi ecalata lesuku Kusile good morning
Vuka uvakashe yati live lapho kabantu imbukeli there's so much to learn and see in the kingdom of Eswatini. Futhi sikhuthata kona ukuthi nawe wati live lapho kabandi nalokuhle lokwendekako lapha eveni la kaNgwane Namambalo yabona mbukeli ukuthi indalo is a beautiful thing ubumkhulu baNkulunkulu buyabonakala ngendalo
Better health, better life. It's another season on your favorite program, Better Health, Better Life, here on Eswatini TV.
Ayinibingelele kunemukele babukele emakhaya kulolu hlelo iBetter Health Better Life lona thulula hlelo ngonokuphila masangana.
It's all about our health, our better health today and our better life tomorrow. In the midst of this global pandemic coronavirus, Better Health Better Life brings you closer to your health professionals.
Ifake emlonyeni wakhe. Nangabe nje ngidla into legcwele amafutha, lento ngidla
so siyakhuthaza ukuthi lalabahlala nalalabanashukela abafunde nabo ngaloshukela.
Watch out for another fresh season of Better Health Better Life on Eswatini TV. It's getting bigger and better every season. This season with COVID-19 is a must to watch for everyone in every home. Better Health Better Life, your gateway to a healthy living.
Busiseka uvuseleleke wakheke emoyeni umculo wetenkolo bahlabeleli balapha eSwatini Sikulethela abahlabeleli abadala nabo lapha sakhula emculweni wetenkolo bahlabela bukhoma lapha eSwatini siphinde sixoxisane kabanti ngalaba kwentako emsebentini wabo wekuhlabelela igospel konke kungiqinisa simakathe. Ungaphuthelwa ngomculo wegospel khona lapha eSwatini TV. Be the glory.
Malanga lamahle siphindze sindvusele sinemukele tindzabeni futhi ecala dalo lusuku libito lami ngingisamkelisiwe ngwakakhoza. Bafuyi basemhlane emandabeni bakhala leti smartphones ngekubuya kwemfuyo kulendzawo njengoba bathi kusukela lo mnyaka losetulu sekwebuye tinkomo letendlulako ekhulwini. Munye walabafuyi Mandla Gcinzi longumfuyi wetshelo umhlambi wetinkomo letingamashumi-43 uthi basola ukuthi imfuyo yabo ithengiswa evenda bomakhelwane eNingizimu Afrika.
Betakhamuti tithi eminyakeni lengcile imfuyo beyayilahleke kulendzawo kodwa bekungasiko kubi kangaka. Bekhulumele abafuyi labalahlekelwe nguletinkomo uMandla Gcinzi ucela uhulumende ukuthi aqinise tekuphepha ikakhulu ediladini lelihlukanisa la kuleli naseNingizimu Afrika eLunzi.
Kwathi kumakhelwane wami bathatha 4. Kulomunye futhi makhelwane bathatha 2. Nakulomunye futhi makhelwane bathatha 1. Nakulomunye futhi makhelwane bathatha 1. Kwabe sekuthi ke umakhelwane bami labadibhisa ke bona kulelinye lidiphu. Bona ke kulomunye makhelwane bamthathele 25. Lomunye angathi kahle ukuthi ingakhi. Kodwa atiyenza lapha ku 15. Siyeva lokho ukuthi leti inkomo timixwa ngalapha ku Mayflower eSouth Africa. Ungazi ukuthi ke le eSouth Africa kuyaye kube nendali leyayifike khona bese ke dithengiswa khona leti inkomo tethu.
Umsumpi wasemhlane Bongani Shongwe uthi kunesive sakulendzawo lesolakalako kulokulahleka kwalemfuyo.
Lento vele kuyavala kunebantu abakhona kunemkhonyovu lokhona la emangweni. Yabantu baxhumana nebantu abalaba batshele ngesimo sokuhamba kanjani balungise nabo bahlele sibahlala betana kuphena sebatinga nalemhlambi kude lewadiwe kuphona vele kukhona kukhona lomleluhinyana sisho vele sikugcina sekuphunyungwa kubantu abanengi ngasona isimo lesinjengalesi sekuphunywa abantu bafaka etandleni.
Umxhumanisi wesive nemaphoyisa aphindile Vilakati uthi bakhona abafuyi bakulendzawo lababike kulahlekelwa tinkomo etindzabeni eSwatini TV kubika Fortune Dlangamandla ngisemhlane.
Luhlelo lokwabiwa kwemandla ngekwenetisa liyaqala lomuhla eMbabane etindzaweni letithite kuleli dolobha kusukela ngensimbi ye-10 ekuseni. Takhamuti tasemagcinzelo naleli dolobha seticalile kwakhelela emanti kulungiselela kucala kwaleli hlelo.
Kwabiwa kwemandi etindzaweni letikhethekile kubangwe kulimala kweliphayipi lenkapani yemanti eFontaine kuletimvula betinemandla letinile evikini leliphelile. Njengoba lenkapani isalilungisa leliphayipi lithethe sinqumo sekwenetisa tonke takhamuti ngekuthi yabe emanti. Lokwabiwa kwalamandi kuyaqala ngensimbi ye-10 ekuseni ngemsombuluko etindzaweni letifaka ekhathi eFontaine, eMountain Drive, eMdzangweni, eSithobelweni, eMseni Drive, Lidede Street, ePTC Flats, eMangwaneni, kuMahwalala, Lomkiri, eCheckers kanye nasePine Valley. Umxhumanisi wenkapani yemanti noMahlubi Matiwane uthi lenkapani ikhethe letikhathi ngelithemba lekuthi angeke bantu batheka beteke kakhulu.
Ikhathi ke sitibekile lebesethemba ukuthi kutaba dikhathi leticishe tisita ema-customer kuthi bakhone kusebenzisa emanti ngesikhathi lesingase si-convenient kubo. Luhla lethu ke lucala mhla ka-1 lokutabe kukusasa ngemsombuluko Manje ku group A atabe akhona kusasa kuqala nga-10 ekuseni batawuze balale solo banawo. Kuse ngalesibili mhla ka2 banawo aphele nga10 AM. Kusuka nga10 AM kuyofika ku12 ebusuku ngalesibili atabe atholakala ka group B. Nabo ukuthi ngalesithathu kuse ekseni banawo emandi aze aphele nga10. Kutawumuketelwana ke kanjalo sethemba ukuthi kutabadikhathi le ema customer ethu atawuthola kusitakala.
Madiwane uthi nanoma idikhathi tibekiwe kutawuhle kwenteka ukuthi emandi angabuyi ngedikhathi letibekiwe njengoba emandi awafani nagezi wona athatha sikhashana njengoba ahamba ngemaphayiphi. Uyacela ukuthi sive singakhathateki makwenteka lokhu. Edindzabeni kubuya lungelela makakula nambongwa Dube eMbabane.
Ugcine utholakala ngelisondo ekseni umtimba welijaha lelemuka emfuleni ingwembisi ngalesibili. Baba wemufi umduduzi Mabuza losakhamuti ngaphansi kwenkundla yasePhondo usumtimba wendvodzana yakhe utholakele sowuvele wonakele.
Lesivumbi semumfi sitfolakele sindande entazi nemfuli ingwempisi emhlatane kanti besuka emgazini emponono sikishwe tinhlambi temaphoyisa bese semuke amakhilomitha lalinganiselwa kulasihlanu kanti umufi utfolakele sekasene kwekuqalela nje kuphela. Baba walelijaha umduduzi Mabuza uthi icela impilo bekaneminyaka lengama-23.
Ucela Mabuza utholakala sonakele kakhulu emanti samona kakhulu asavuvukile vele asangasalusi kahle vele bamalile nasemoshali bathi asimfihle namhla enzambama.
Lotfule lesidumbu semufi ngusibongile Malaza lothi utfule licingo loluthi akagadze emfuleni njengaloku kunemtimba lobonakele umuka.
Abechamuka le enhla ngakazimeleni nengwembisi. Ngehla ke bathi ngizombona. Ngambona ke hamba nalengwembisi ke lo muntu. Ngathi sengiyahamba sengizitshela ukuthi lo muntu usowusithele lenzansi. Kwase kuyangitshela nje ngajika ngehla ngalengwembisi ngase ngimthola kulo mfula lo adanda khona. Kodwa ke amaphoyisa besezivele Eswatini aduka ayoshona le edlelweni wona. Kwathi ke ngabo 27 afika emaphoyisa avele ke angena amkhipha kodwa ke asamtholele umfula lo somkhahlele sombeke lapha nje khashana.
Ilunga lephalamende lenkundla yasePhondo Colani Vilakathi ucwayisa sive ngekuwela imifula njengaloku igcwele kulandzela timvula letitfolwe live emalangeni lengcile.
Ngaba kucwayisa sona sive lesidudane nalenkundla ukuthi noma abematibuko bebawathi ukuthi ayeweleka kodwa ke sicela ukuthi kusukela kulamalanga bamane basebenzise leto tindlela leti phephile tekewela kungaba mhlawumbe mabloho ekwewela labahamba ngetinyawo noma lawo wetimoto kulandzela ukuthi imifula igola tinsethe kulamalanga.
Umbiko welibandla lekuphunga tehlakala uthi bebasebane bantfu labasishile emhlabeni labemukiswe nguzamcolo Cyclone Olowisi. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Fortune Dlangamandla ngisengwempisi.
Takhamuti tasemkhaya ngaphansi kwenkundla yasesiphofaneni tisukumele eTulu kuyolungisa umgwaqo kulendzawo lobogcwele sihlabathi kanye netigodzi ungasahambeki.
Takhamiti tasemkhaya phansi kwenkundla yasesiphofaneni tisukumele mangetinyawo tabumbana talungisa umgwaqo esiteshini emkhaya logcwele tigodzi temhlabathi. Takhamiti tithi tisibone sisikhulu sidingo sekulungisa lomgwaqo njengoba timotolo betita tigijima kulendzawo bese tifika timakamadima lokungadala tingoti titfole emasaphatelo njengoba emabhizinisi abo athutane nemgwaqo.
Affect abashayeli kakhulu sisi ngoba bekachamuka lo mnyagijima kakhulu khande songena lapha eweni lapha sekuthingathi nesuka lapha etolo lasimaketha khona sitestomkhokha la wena lesinye isikhathi uchamuke wena uyogibela uyahamba uyesiphofaneni mawufika lapha imoto ichamuke igijima kakhulu iconze lapha kuwe utimele wena lapha ngenxa yalomhlabathi saseke sibuka lo siqono lomhlabathi sisusele ngoma sekwenze emalanga besitobantu uhulumende utawufaka sigulumba mhlamba waye njengahlala end siyabona ngisho isimo lonyaka asivuma.
Bashayeli betimotolo bathi bawubonga kakhulu lo msebenzi lo wentiwa nguletakhamiti
badlala ichaza elikhulu kakhulu ngoba na ubuka nayethi ingoti bese tiyanza la kuchamuka ngoba yebo kona abantu bayathi imigwaqo yonakele kodwa la kwente ukhansi lomgwaqo mubi imoto yethukela usilala alomnyaka kathi ukuthi kwentekeni kulendzawo kanti nakabona labantu bakhona bakwendako la enangini liyehla tubane nathi siyasitakala kusami sibantu betimoto sikhona ukuhamba.
Singethuka kakhulu kubona abantu labasukuma ngendlela lenje banakekele abantu labasuka Mozambique, South Africa, banakekela wonke umuntu, hayi ukuthi batendela bona. Balusitho nje kakhulu, asathi uhulumende ukuthi bekangathini nangakabakhanze nje noma banike nje lokungaba sibonga ukuthi angababonga ngani.
Emaphoyisa eMbube yacelile ukuthi bashayeli betimotolo bashayele ngekucophelela emgwaqweni kugwema ingoti emgwaqweni. Etindzabeni kubika Thembelihle Magutshwa, Tithombe Ngithemba Shabangu eMkhaya.
Injinela lomkhulu etiko letemisebenzi lemikhulu nekutfutsa Vincent Dlamini uthi kusehlelweni laleli tiko kucedzisa kwakhiwa kwebhloho laseTsawela lelisetshenziswa sive lesinyenti. Dlamini unika sivetvo logcina nje sekwamila tihlahla netjani lapho kwabekwa khona timvo tekwakha leli bhloho lekusimo lesesikhatsata bantfu bakulendzawo ngekuphela kwawo lomsebenzi.
Ngeminyaka wanga-2015 kuleli bhloho kwemuka ikhumbi lenebantu kwalahleka imiphefumulo lefika ke 15 kwaba ngilapho uhulumende lakathatha khona sinqumo sekulungisa noma tatsenga tintfo tekulakha kodwa solo tahlala letinye setize tifihlwe ngumena. Injinela lomkhulu etiko letemsebenzi lemkhulu nekutfutsa Vincent Dlamini uthi uhulumende bekete imali yakwakha leli bhloho kodwa nyalo sesifakiwe isicelo semali yekwenta yomsebenzi.
Njengoba kwabekwa nje lama culvert labekwa lamabhokisi labekwa lapha kwakuvele kuhlongotwa kona lokuthi umsebenzi uchubeke manje-ke endleleni sabe sesakasishodela nakasishodela-ke wakhanza ukuthi netindlela tekwatfola nato acabi ngiletibalula kepha-ke siyabuka nyalo nje sicelile njengoba kusetshenziswa amabhajethi nje nyalo sicelile lokuthi sifake timali njengesicelo. So ingcenye yalezo timali leto kutaba vele ngiko kuyocedzela lela bhloho.
Buchopho basemgazini Saiko Dlamini uthi leli bhloho lisetshenziswa kakhulu sive zasemgazini naselishikishini.
Nalile kakhulu nje kuyashelela kuwele kumbamba ke lamfuleni. Sekufuna balove abantwana noma ke ba risk vele bawele. Ngaleyo ndlela bawela ngawo lesingathi bawela njani.
Sive lisebenzisa leli bhloho sicela uhulumende ukuthi afana acedzise lo msebenzi.
Leli bhloho kudzala solo linje. Besibona ke kunanati yatinsimbi ngale ngeshaya sibona sithi mhlambe khona labasendela kona phela sekuyalunga. Bathi kude.
Njengobona nje nyalo selihamukile konja kwambe kuvela. Kulukhuni. Ngicabanga noma sekuvula itikolo vele kutawa madima nje ngabe kusulo sokunjena.
Lesinye sive lisebenzisa leli bhloho ngileso lesisuke siye edolobheni eMankayane kuyofuna tindlu tasemakhaya etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Fortune Dlangamandla ngiselishikishini.
Bantfu labadzala kanye nebalimi elibonjeni bathi kunjabulo kubona kucubuka kwamatsheje emhlabathini kulamalanga lokindwe lekadze yagcina kwenteka kulendzawo kanti lamatsheje abonakala ekubeni imvula lenkulu ithele ngemandla kuleli emalangeni endlulile.
Timvula letinkulu letitsele ngemandla tente kutsi kucubuke ematsheje etindzaweni letinyenti ehlandzeni lekuyintfo bantfu labadzala labatsi sekadze bayigcina njengoba livame komisa. Labantfu labadzala bathi lamanti lasabonakala cubuka phansi kulamalanga asho lokukhulu kubo njengoba loku sekwaba imvela kancane emvelweni.
Phela kusho injabulo ngoba sibafuyi benkomo nathi nje bese simangele malibalela ngawo ukuthi le nkomo liyaphila kanjani. Mangabe nje kudabuke ematsheje nje siva siyajabula ngoba netshani buyakhula noma amadlelo sadleka nje asamancane kodwa nje lapho la khona khotha khona tawukhotha ngo.
Sibona amatete avukile kangaka kusho ukuthi lidulini yakho lamahlanzeni. Nebalimi ufuna bacale phasi balime nyalo lamahlanzeni.
Njengabantu lesikhulele la kusikhumbuta nje ukuthi masikhula kwakuvele kunje ngoba kunetindzawo lestatiko ukuthi vele betinawo lamatsheje tinetiyalo kepha bese kwabede lo kepha ke masikubona lokhu siyabona ukuthi awu kusho ukuthi live ngabe libuyele esimene kwasijabulisa kona ngoba kunemfuyo manje ke makwenteka nje kuyasho ukuthi nalo kwemadlelo amancane kodwa nje tilwane titawuphila.
Abalimi bathi nanoma lemvula ilimete lokunyenti lebe bakulimile kodwa ibasitile kulokunye lokufaka ekhathi imfuyo ehlandzeni letawuba nemanti yekunatha impela. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Thembelihle Magutshwa, Tithombe Ngithemba Shabangu elibonjeni.
Gogo Kusile Maseko wakumahwalala embabane lokhubatenge kungaboni emehlweni ucela lisito esiveni njengoba kade ulala etiko kuye nemtukulu wakhe loneminyaka leli-12 lahlala naye.
Gogo Maseko uneminyaka leli-16 nalemibili. Unakwa umtukulu wakhe loneminyaka leli-12. Waqala kungaboni emehlweni eminyakeni lesi-6 lengcile emva kokuthi agule yasesemsebentini. Gogo Maseko abesebenza emakethe athengisa tibhidvo netithelo. Uthi ngalelinye lilanga kwendeka ukuthi awe phansi waphaphama sekasesibhedlela. Uthi lokugula kwakhe kwamcala ekubeni kwendeke lokho. Uthi sibucayi isimo ngoba kulikhuni ukuthi utawulinza ukuthi konke utowendelwa ngilomtukulu wakhe loneminyaka lengu-12.
Ngakhona nje ona nje kuba simo nangithuke ngathola linazana udoswa ngena bakubona bokuboniswa khalite ngisafa indlala okusila sikapheki sifile indlala dame ke nambana bhutile lakudamako lokuphelele baleni nako lokungayinzawo sima kude siyabhetha bhetha kunze kubhetha nokugula kubhetha nesimo kubhetha ihlupheko konke kwakuvula isikolo nje amangidade uthingeni.
Gogo Maseko uthi uhle aluthola lusito lokudla kubomakhelwane kodwa kuyendeka abalale ngendlala emalanga alandzelana. Lo ngaba nesifiso sokusita angathinza lomsakato eluhlangothini lwebetindzaba. Etindzabeni kubuya lungelele Magagula nambongwa Dube embabane.
Mana ngilamahle singade phethe asibuke nathi tindzaba tetfu temidlalo. Mengamene enhlangano emidlalo werugby kuleli simanga Magagula uthi umkhuhlane iCovid-19 uthi kakabete kakhulu tinhlelo talenhlangano lekusukumisa emacembu lamasha etigozini totine telive kanye nekudukutela abamvu ukuthi bawudlale lo mdlalo.
Imidlalo yerugby kuleli sangakafika ezingeni lelisetulu kanti na 7 kusangakabe ngumdlalo lodlala abadlali abaningi. Inhlangano edlalisa lo mdlalo beyivedile eminyakeni leyendlulile ukuthi bafuna kwenta taba tekukhulisa lo mdlalo ngekuthi bawumikise kuthi tonke tifundza takuleli kanye nasetikolweni lokutosita ukuthi bantfu bawati kangcono lo mdlalo. Kepha-ke ngemva kwekuphetfwa komkhuhlane we-COVID-19 onke lawo maphupho sekabambelelekile njengalokhu lo mdlalo solowamiswa sekuyofika sikhatsi lesiyofika eminyakeni. Mengameli walenhlangano Simanga Magagula uthi balimele kakhulu ngekumiswa kwalo mdlalo.
Ku-recruitment yethu naku-Eswatini sikhanze i-rugby beyisadevelopa. We have got only 8 clubs la even lonke, so besifiso sethu bekuthi nje ocishe onke ama-region ethu agcine anayo i-rugby, but nje nasibathe siyabuka asikhoni kuphuma sengephandle siyo-recruiter, asikhoni kujima because i-COVID imatima kakhulu. Thine funa ujuluke na udlala i-rugby ubambane nemuntu, so kulikhulu kakhulu ngakithi vele silimele kokonke cishe kokonke thine la kaNgwane ngoba nemishini ayidulile ukuthi imali timatima ukuthi singakhona ukuthi siteste badlali onke malanga kuze ukuthi bakhoneke emidlalweni ngawona ukuthi sisadevelopa vele sisephansi kakhulu ezingeni le-rugby la kaNgwane.
Magagula uthi ngenyanga yakholwane kumele live liyongenela imidlalo yensebe ye-Afrika litokhipha loyo lotokhona kongenela imidlalo yekuhlungela imidlalo ye-World Cup kanti basatokhulumisana nahulumende kubuka ukuthi bangabambisana kanjani ukuthi bagcina bakhonile kuyingenela le mdlalo.
Sawuzama ukuthi sikhulumisane nebaka Sports Council kucela ukuthi ngabe uhulumende beyangasita ngakuphi ngoba sikhanza thine kukabi ukuthi i-national team yethu ingadlali singaparticipate kulamanye emave ngephandle ngoba lo mdlalo ngeke uthuthuke nangabe sitawutsiza nje sini ngoba sekunekhona bese sidlala phasi.
Uphethe ngawe Magagula ukuthi badlali balo mdlalo bayacela ukuthi bachubeke batilolonge bangahlali nje phasi lewetawubasita ukuthi nasekubuyela abadlali batikhanze basezingeni lokutawenda ukuthi basheshe baqale imidlalo yabo. Lobikeni umsakazo weSwatini TV temidlalo ngiphathiswa Msibi embabane.
Mala ngamahle sifika kanjalo kumaphethelweni ado tindzaba tefu lebetecala kulosuku lesikhatsi manje siyakhona ititolo sibe siyachubeka nalo luhlelo Kusile. Good morning.
Return my son to me. I'm going to go get him.
Ow, it hurts! Hey, I haven't even touched you yet. Stop being a baby. Kandimba! Get back here! Kandimba!
What's with that face? You don't feel well? How did your interview go?
Bad. Really bad.
Well, I'd like to have a cup of coffee, please.
Because I want to help you out,
Your
I really
father
can't.
won't let you.
It's just that at this time, the sales of the store don't justify hiring another person, Auntie.
But if that's the issue, I could work on commission, Sarah. I already proved to you I'm a good
Look,
salesperson.
I'm really sorry, but jobs don't just pop up because people need them.
Maybe you should find someone who feels as lonely as you do. Someone who knows how to spoil you and likes it.
Bathi yonke indvodza idla umgwaja wesagila sayo. Lokhu sikubita ngokuthi kuphanda estradini.
Ngenda emasamusa.
Ngenda ibhizinisi yokuthengisa ama-chips nemaveji.
Letinsimbi siyatibutsa sihambe nato sifise ka-scrapyard 10 malangeni
Uthi discount.
hey good.
The hustle is real. Kwamele sibeke iplate etafuleni. It's the survival of those who hustle.
Anga overload imphathi wami eloko emaphoyisa kwaphose kwanithatha ngi-overloadile.
Nguwena uthenga ngabo wena ubuke. Wena uthenga ubuke wena.
Ufuna ngibuke phi? Yebona bram ndakuyisa. I believe babe.
Sinenhlandile enkulu lokusafuna seyithosa.
He's a stepbrother.
Sengenaphi? Wathona into yenda yonke lento.
Conspiring with his mother.
Ngokuthi ngifuna ube nalesiqiniseko sokuthi donke imvo ihamba kahle.
Namaphepha lewafuna asiya, namaphepha ani.
Maphepha asiya ekubhadala esikoleni. I hope everyone uvile ukuthi maphepha ani.
Cha, Siev. And good day singo sekuthi usiconvince unless you guilt.
Lata ngadi lokuthi kwateswa yini.
Yena mntana yang-accuser nje yang-accuser.
Seyitholile impemvulo yakushashwa kwasakuphuma.
Gosh, have you got something in your butt?
Leya le nto. Waqala
Okay, fine.
To murder in order to elevate. Though everything comes with consequences.
Ngimsaneliso lo ngomngane besakhula naye uToto ngeseko.
Wamukelekile mfana wami lapha ekhaya.
Hayi, Sera. Ngiyabonga kakhulu manje. Nami ngithi ya alwehlangano ngehlanga.
Siyabonga.
Don't miss The Village on Eswatini TV.
Malanga namahle solo sikulo luhlelo Kusile breakfast show kungo umsombuluko sanimukela maswahleni sanza kulela umnona umsakado wado tithombe emakhaya nasetinkundleni tefuthi ekuchumana siyabonga kakhulu ukuhlasana nathi sethembisile ke ukuthi lesikhathi lesi sawubuka sona simo semkhuhlane iCovid-19 sicala lapha event laseSwatini njengoba sibonile eminyakeni lophelile ngayo inyanga yelweti live laseSwatini licala isigaba sesibili semkhuhlane iCovid-19 second wave lapho sibone khona silive laseSwatini belitfola khona over 200 maybe around 100 wema cases ebamula abafolakala nawo lo mkhuhlane bashiya ngelanga bangetulu kwelishumi kepha sibonela ngelayitolo ngasithi inombolo tehle kakhulu ke kakhulu compared to that nombolo lebedisolo tikhona sukela live laqala kwe second wave ngenyanga ya November iminyakeni lophelile njengoba sibuka ilangeni layitolo imvuna yetempilo embikweni wayo efulile ukuthi ifollowe nemiphumela le 1245 kwase ukuthi 45 bafolakala athi banawo lomkhuhlane bavule bashile ke ilangeni layitolo bathafu babili ke emamezi lasishile kwase ukuthi kuba yinye ke female kavela ke ukuthi kulala bashile labathafu babili babo bebana tifotite leti khona emtimbeni siyakhumbula ukuthi nawusaqala lo mkhuhlane itiko letempilo ngokubanjiswa nguye Mhlakuhlangene waveta ukuthi kunebamvu labasengodini lenkulu yekulinyatwa ngilomkhuhlane kakhulu kade bamvu labana boshukela bamvu labana labanawo ema-asthma siyabona ukuthi babili babo bebanato ke letifo letitsite but munye wabo bekede sifo lesikhona emtimbeni njengoba siyabona imkhuhlane i-COVID-19 yimvo lengathi imatima kakhulu lapha even laseSwatini simbonile uhulumende welive laseSwatini ngekubaniswa nguye mhlabuhlangene uyasukumela etulo ukubona ukuthi engabe vele silive singayilwa kanjani na impi ye-COVID-19 njengoba nasibuka ngesimo sebamvu labafolakele nawo lo mkhuhlane elangeni la itolo siyabona lapha ku-0 to 9 years munye lofolakele nawo lo mkhuhlane kuthi 10 to 19 nakhona munye lofolakele nemkhuhlane e-COVID-19 ufolakala esifundeni sakaHobe kangadikhombisi ke timpawu at all ku-20 to 29 basiphohlongo munye wakhe ufolakala esifundeni sakaHobe kanetimpawu letingabonakali labane babo bafalakala esifundeni sakaHo nakhona but banetimpawu lesetibonakala tingleto letiphansi ngaphansi kwetimpawu letibonakala kubabili bafolakala esifundeni sakaManzini munye wafolakala esifundeni saseshiselweni ku-20 to 29 kwase kuthi itotal lana kuba bamvula basiphohlongo 30 to 39 bamvula babili 30 to 39 uvame kuba nguye lohamba embili ke kulandzele 40 to 49 ebantwini labafolakala nemkhuhlane i-COVID-19 sabona ukuthi elangeni la itolo inombolo yabo ibe ngilabo labaphansi kakhulu njengoba babili kuphela bafolakala esifundeni sakaHo naseshiselweni banetimpawu letingabonakali 40 to 49 basihlanu labafolakele babili bafolakala esifundeni sakaHo banetimpawu letingabonakali lababili bakhona bafolakala esifundeni sakaHo nakhona banetimpawu letibonakalako kepha tingleto letiphansi kwase siphasato timpawu letiphansi munye wafolakala esifundeni saseshiselweni ku-40 to 49 itotal lana sebamvu labasihlanu 50 to 59 bayifica labafolakele khona lana siyabona ukuthi labanengi babo bafolakale esifundeni saseshiselweni banetimpawu ke lesingase tiyabonakala kepha tingleto letiphansi kwase silababili bafolakala esifundeni sakaHo nakhona banetimpawu letibonakalako kepha tiphansi 60 to 69 kwafolakala abamvu labang-11 this is the age group lesicala ukuthi silive eSwatini siyakhathateka ngayo kakhulu njengoba munye wabo ufolakala esifundeni sakaHo unetimpawu letibonakalako kepha tingleto letiphansi kaHo phindze kwaba nabathafu labafolakalako bafolakala banetimpawu letibonakalako kepha tingleto letiphansi kwase kuthi labathafu bafolakala nakhona esifundeni saseshiselweni itimpawu lesithi thine tiyabonakala phindze tiphansi loyo ngu-60 to 69 70 to 79 kufolakala abantu labane labanengi babo ke bafolakala esifundeni saseshiselweni banetimpawu letibonakalako kepha tiphansi kwase kuthi munye wafolakala nakhona eshiselweni so 70 to 79 bonke besifundza saseshiselweni 80 plus kufolakala bamfu labane lababili bafolakala esifundeni saseshiselweni banetimpawu nakhona letiphansi kepha tibonakala kwase kuthi siyambona soyavela siviye ukhona uvela esifundeni sakaManzini ngu-80 plus loyo itotal ke sebamfu labang-45 labafolakala nawo umkhuhlane i-COVID-19 elangeni la itolo lokufule ngiyo nayitempilo lizinkosi njengoba nasichubeka sibuka simo salomkhuhlane lapha eveni bamvu labalashelwa wona at this moment bang 4623 lesebaluleme bang 10478 lesebashile emhlabeni ngenxa yawo lomkhuhlane bang 565 bamvu lababhalisele kunakekelwa bang 45 ngilabamvu labafolakala nemkhuhlane elangeni la itolo itotal lefu lapha eveni yemaswati lanawo lomkhuhlane laluleme laphinze bashiya emhlabeni ithi 15711 tibona inombolo letiyachiubeka tiyenyuka kakhulu kumcwa ukuthi njengoba induna yetempilo lizinkosi njalo ngelanga nekhipha wona imbiko iyagcizelela ukuthi emaswati akachubeke phela kulandzele tonke letimiso letibekwe nguhulumende tekuthi sivikele kwanza kwalona mkhuhlane njengoba nasibuka ngegender 0 to 9 years kuhamba embili females athi 277 males athi 271 itotal lana isi 548 10 to 19 kuhamba embili females athi 614 males athi 495 itotal efu isi 1109 20 to 29 kuhamba embili females athi 1675 males athi 1350 and then itotal lana ku 20 to 29 isi 3029 30 to 39 kuhamba embili females athi 2192 kude males lana asemuva kancane ngoba asi 2094 and then itotal it's 4286 ku 30 to 39 40 to 49 kuhamba embili males athi 1569 females efu athi 1469 itotal lana is 3038 and then 50 to 59 kuhamba embili males athi 985 females efu athi 939 then itotal lana is 1924 and then 60 to 69 kuhamba embili females athi 550 57, and then lana ema-males efu asi 460, itotal yefu it's 1017, and then 70 to 79 khamba embili ema-females ati 254, ema-males efu ati 235, itotal yefu it's 489, 80 plus kuhamba embili ema-females ati 156, ema-males efu ati 114, and then itotal ku 80 plus it's 271. Bona ema-females ngeola hamba embili ati 8137, yet ema-males efu ati 7574. Kube kathi basho belitiko letempilo ukuthi kude sizafule sikhona labangaziveta ukuthi engabe kubangelwa yini ukuthi ema-females kube ngeola hamba embili bampini labatholakala nawo lo mkhuhlane lapha eveni. Njengoba nasibuka ngetifunza tefu sifunza sakaho ngiso lesihamba embili sinebamvu labangi 6869, silandzele ngumanzini yena uthi 6183, kulandzele lubombo lithi 1407, bese kuta ishiselo ithi 1252. Sabona malanga lamahle ukuthi kumcwa kakhulu sichubeke sitilandzele tonke timiso etibekwe nguhulumende welive laseSwatini tegoma kwanza kwalona mkhuhlane. Njengoba bengisho ukuthi uhulumende welive laseSwatini kukhona ke la kwendawo ekubaniswa ngoyinhlangano kamhlabuhlangene lapha elive katinde Africa, njengoba sibonile aletha wona ema-expert noma sithi tati leti butobuka kakhulu sona simo semkhuhlane COVID-19 lesichamuka khona elive katinde Africa ngibaniswa ngilo live laseNgilandi UK EMT team lete lapha eveni laseSwatini tobuka phela thingabe vele live laseSwatini ikakhulu kati the health system lesethele kangaka singakhona kanjani ukuthi phela live laseSwatini libambiseke likhone ukuthi na the health system yethu ikhone kuphefumula sive semaswati sichubeke sitfolele usito ngendlela lefanele. Kanti njengoba sesibukile simo semkhuhlane lapha eveni sitawubuka yena mhlabuhlangene njengoba cishi onke malanga uyakhipha yona in update ukuthi engabe kuhamba njani. Libandla ke livame ukukhipha lona mbiko ngekuholwa nguye umcondzisi jikelele wakhona ka WHO Dr. Tedros Adhanom asimuve ukuthi kuhamba kanjani isimo semkhuhlane COVID-19.
This week, we reached 100 million reported cases. More cases have been reported in the past 2 weeks than during the first 6 months of the pandemic. A year ago, I said the world had a window of opportunity to prevent widespread transmission of this new virus. Some countries heeded that call, some did not. Now, vaccines are giving us another window of opportunity to bring the pandemic under control. We must not squander it. The pandemic has exposed and exploited the inequalities of our world. There is now real danger that the very tools that could help to end the pandemic, vaccines, may exacerbate those same inequalities. Vaccine nationalism might serve short-term political goals, but it's ultimately short-sighted and self-defeating. We will not end the pandemic anywhere until we end it everywhere. The world has come to a critical turning point in the pandemic, but it's also a turning point in history. Faced with a common crisis, can nations come together in a common approach? When a village is on fire, it makes no sense for a small group of people to hoard all the extinguishers to defend their own houses. The fire will be put out faster if everyone has an extinguisher and works together in unison. More vaccines are being developed, approved, and produced. There will be enough for everyone. But for now, vaccines are a limited resource. We must use them as effectively and as fairly as we can. If we do that, lives will be saved. That's why I have challenged government and industry leaders to work together to ensure that in the first 100 days of 2021, vaccination of health workers and older people is underway in all countries. My message to governments is to vaccinate your health workers and older people and share excess doses with COVAX so other countries can do the same. My message to people in countries that are now rolling out vaccines is use your voice to advocate for your government to share doses. If you're someone at low risk, please wait your turn. Health and care workers have been on the front lines of the pandemic, but are often underprotected and overexposed. They need vaccines now. They and their families have already paid an extremely high price in this pandemic. Protecting the people who protect us is the right and smart thing to do. In the early days of the pandemic, as you remember, people showed their love and appreciation for health workers by applauding on their balconies. Now it's time to show our love and appreciation for health workers by making sure all health workers are vaccinated. The theme for World Health Day this year is health equity. Equity is at the heart of everything WHO does. This week, we have released 2 products to close gaps in care and improve health outcomes globally. The first is Essential Diagnostics List, a basket of diagnostics that WHO recommends should be available at point of care and in labs to improve timely and life-saving diagnosis. The COVID-19 pandemic has reinforced the value of timely and accurate diagnostics to save lives. Without them, you're flying blind. The latest edition of the Essential Diagnostics List includes tests for the COVID-19 virus, expands the suite of tests for vaccine-preventable and infectious diseases and non-communicable diseases, such as cancer and diabetes, and introduces a section on endocrinology, which is important for reproductive and women's health. The second product is a new 10-year plan for neglected tropical diseases, a set of 20 illnesses that affect more than 1 billion people, most of them poor. The plan includes ambitious but achievable targets to reduce the number of people who need treatment for a neglected tropical disease by 90%, to achieve the elimination of at least 1 disease in 100 countries, and to eliminate 2 diseases, guinea worm and yaws, globally by 2030. Together, WHO and our partners are working together to ensure neglected tropical diseases are neglected no more. These are just 2 examples of the many ways WHO works every day to fulfill our mission to promote health, keep the world safe, and serve the vulnerable. I thank you.
Inhlangano kamhlaba yetempilo iWorld Health Organization Dr. Tedros Adhanom usinika sona sithombe ethi ngabe bangumhlabhlangene sebakuphi phela nekulwa nawo umkhuhlane iCovid-19 uyanxusa kakhulu emaveni emhlaba ukuthi akusidi ukuthi wena uthi lo mkhuhlane utawucetha lapha kakho kepha kumcaka ukuthi emave phela abambisane come together ukuthi ngabe lo mkhuhlane singakhona kanjani ukucetha sesisonke njengoba lo mkhuhlane na ucetha wena wedvane akusidi ngoba kulesikhathi lezi bantu baphuma nebangena futhi emaveni lo mkhuhlane ngeke uphele kanjalo kulesikhathi lesi ke kuba nalesikhathi lapho khona tinsatheli temave ngekwahlukana ato abuta uyona phela libandla lelihamba naye Dr. Tedros ethe ngabe vele sibo sana umkhuhlane sihamba kanjani kanti umbuto wekuqala laba ubutile kuthi njengoba emave sekacekisile kuphuma nekungena kulawo mave engabe mhlabhlangene ubuke ukuthi utayiprioritize yini kakhulu kade the travel sector ukuze kukhona phela kucubeka kuvikeleke sive ikakhulu kade leso lesiphuma kona nesinganako emaveni.
Can start there. I think the question actually specifically relates to vaccinations of people working in the industry, but with specific reference to testing as a measure. Testing is being increasingly used in different parts of our society to do different things, and certainly the expansion of rapid diagnostic tests is bringing a new and very useful tool to bear, taking pressure off the existing PCR-based testing systems, and fully expanding the use of validated rapid diagnostic tests is a major aim of WHO, our partners in Find and United, and within the ACT Accelerator. I think Bruce will confirm that. The specific issue around increased testing requirements. Countries right now are in different situations. Those countries with very low incidence are very, very afraid about re-importing cases and may have more stringent testing in place. Other countries are worried about the arrival of potential variants that will further complicate their situations, and they're targeting reducing movement from certain countries in order to be able to avoid that. It's a difficult prospect, and we do need is coherent messaging around travel requirements. The process of travel itself has been significantly de-risked, and to the travel industry and others, they deserve credit for having put in place a lot of measures to reduce the risk of transmission during the travel process. Managing the arrivals in terms of quarantine and supported quarantine, testing and other measures is difficult. And I know a lot of countries now, and it's something we've been saying for many months, when we're talking about dealing with either contacts of cases or people arriving from high incidence countries, if you're going to require that travellers arriving in the country quarantine for a particular period or have to be tested, then governments should be supporting that process. It is very difficult for a traveller arriving to be able to comply sometimes if they don't get the support to comply. So if governments are going to require that people stay in a hotel for a period of time, then those facilities that are provided should be adequate, and people should be able to do that with a minimum level of comfort and be able to live properly. So as you see, governments are continuing to try and increase and ramp up their efforts to break chains of transmission and to manage risks. But we also must do that and invest properly in those mechanisms, so not only citizens in countries, but people who are travelling between countries are treated with respect and with due regard to their comfort and their human rights.
Thank you, Fidel, and thank you, Mike. Thank you for the question. So on the issue of prioritizing the use of vaccines, it's an extremely important point, and thank you for raising it again. But we need to be clear, and again, the Director General spoke about the toll of this disease and the disproportionate effect of this disease on highly exposed populations in the course of their work, our healthcare workers, like we heard from Sana and Harriet today, and then also, of course, our older populations. And when faced with a life-threatening disease and what is a ubiquitous risk and threat here of this virus, we have to be extremely careful about how we use the scarce resources that we have to reduce that risk. One of the most precious things we have right now are the vaccines. You have seen in the media reports and elsewhere the struggles, the challenges companies are having just making even what they had planned to make and getting it out there on time, getting it distributed. In that situation, we have to prioritize the people, not who are inconvenienced by COVID-19, but the people who need this to help prevent them from possibly dying of the disease. And we know the people at greatest risk are healthcare workers. You just heard from two heroes of the healthcare profession right at the front line who cannot help but be exposed in the nature of the work they do. Then we have our older populations, and then we have populations with known comorbidities, as you've heard about. We need to make sure that the vaccine, this precious and rare, scarce, fortunately, commodity right now, is used to reduce the risk of severe disease in these people. And then on the issue of testing, as Mike mentioned, you will have seen just over the last couple of weeks some exciting new partnerships that are evolving to try and make sure that we can make testing, accurate testing, available on even a bigger scale. And one of the things, two of the ACT-A partners announced just last week was that they have now struck a deal to try and make a highly accurate rapid diagnostic test available for low, middle-income countries for $2.50. And so that's the kind of partnerships we're getting down now to the price ranges where we can really get testing up, like you said, Mike, to the levels it needs to be if we're going to be able to rapidly isolate, detect and isolate people who are infected with the virus to prevent that spread.
libandla lelo la kamhlabuhlangene libukethe ngathi insabade tempilo kanti omunye umbuto lobotiwe izaba ukuthi engabe vele la live katini leAfrica cela ukuthi WHO akacacise engabe vele kutawuqala nini ukuthi sonke sivele sikhona maybe live katini leAfrica sicale kugomela wona umkhuhlane eCovid-19 baveta ukuthi sekuqalile event laseGuinea lapho khona abantu labangu-25 nje kuphela sebaqalile kulitfola leli khambe engabe vele buke ukuthi mhlabuhlangene ikakhulu kade live katini leAfrica kutawuqala nini to roll out the vaccination process.
I think this is what is topmost of our minds, and in terms of getting vaccines to people, especially to those who are at the highest risk. We have two frontline workers who've spoken to us today. So clearly healthcare workers and others who are at high risk of both getting the infection and dying from it need to be in the front of the queue to get the vaccines, regardless of where they live. And this takes us back to what the DG has called for already. In the first 100 days of this year, we should start seeing vaccines rolling out in all countries. Now, how do we do that? We're doing that through COVAX. And we last week announced that we had signed a deal with Pfizer, which is a vaccine that has received WHO emergency use listing as well as SAGE policy guidance. It has challenges of ultra cold chain, but those can be overcome. And so we're hoping very soon in the next couple of weeks to start dispatching the first consignments of this vaccine to countries around the world that are part of the COVAX facility so that they can start vaccinating their health workers and the most high risk. We also expect to start receiving doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Now, currently, it is going through the regulatory review at WHO. You must have heard that the European Medicines Agency has just given it a conditional marketing authorization. We need to review the dossiers independent of that because the manufacturing sites for the vaccines that will come to the COVAX facility are different from the vaccines that will go to Europe. So we are hopeful that in the next 2 weeks at the most, that this should happen, that we should have an emergency use listing, provided that everything, of course, goes according to plan and all the data is there, and that we can then start receiving doses of the AZ vaccine from the manufacturing sites in India and South Korea, and those should also be going out to the countries. Meanwhile, of course, we're working with the countries on getting absolutely ready with everything that's needed, and we've gone through that before on what are all the elements of preparedness at the country level, so that the day the vaccines arrive in the country, they can start being deployed. And there are many, many things that countries need to do to get ready. We've seen even in the high-income countries that it's not just a question of having the vaccine in the refrigerator. It takes a lot from that point to actually getting it into people at the pace at which we want to move. So February is definitely our goal. The earlier, the better. And we will try to expand as rapidly as possible through the COVAX facility. Thank you.
WHO has under assessment at this stage 4 vaccine candidates. The 2 are the AstraZeneca derived, and just piggybacking on the issue of the EMA approval today, it's a very useful approval because it approves the core data, and the core data is useful for all the sites that are, that AstraZeneca has 8 different manufacturing sites. So WHO is at the final stages of assessing the sites that will provide to the COVAX facility, which are the SK Bio in Korea and the Serum Institute in India. We are also in advanced stage of assessment of Sinopharm and Sinovac, and at this stage we do have a team in China to do the inspections in the Chinese facilities. Regarding the Russian vaccine, we did have last Friday we had a new meeting with the manufacturers, and WHO is still waiting. There will be subsequent meetings. WHO is still waiting for some core information, some vital information to be presented, and this should be happening in the next few weeks. Thank you.
On the country readiness, I think what I really want to communicate is the full readiness that many countries have to get started. and yet there are countries that still have a ways to go to be prepared. In addition to that, there are choices, as has been indicated, about the vaccines that are coming through the COVAX facility, and not all countries want to proceed with some of the ultra cold chain issues that are at hand, and are making decisions about what the sort of optimum mix of vaccines will be in their program. So the COVAX facility is ready, as Sumya said, is ready to deploy vaccines in the next coming weeks, and countries are in the process of communicating and being communicated with about what those allocations will be. I want to direct your attention to the COVAX facility website, which does have now supply projections over time by region and by product. And I think those are useful pieces of information for you to draw on about what the COVAX facility is projecting to deploy.
Umbuto wesithafu-ke lobutiwe ngento zaselte emave lahlukahlukene sengabe emhlabuhlangene ikakhulukazi yona inhlangano yamhlaba yetempilo lebuke tindzaba tetempilo lamhlabeni ukuthi engabe bangathini ngendzaba yokumiswa phela kwekuthengwa kwaleli khambi ikakhulukazi ngaphandle kwemave lesocalwe ngiwo emave alabamhlophe.
Actually, it's a very worrying trend. We have seen last year, in the beginning of the year, when we had the first lockdowns affecting the big producer of essential medicines. We had export restrictions at the time of active ingredients for essential medicines. So this is very much a movement that concerns WHO, because we understand that no product nowadays, not WHO understand, that's the truth, actually is made in only one place. There are multiple elements. When you get a medicine or you get a vaccine, you're getting products that are coming from many places in the world. So it's not, let's say it's not helpful to have any country at this stage putting export bans or barriers that will not allow for the free movement of the necessary ingredients that will make vaccines, diagnostics, and other medicines available to all the world.
I think, and this is the kind of thing Mike is really on top of. At the beginning of this crisis, you'll remember one of the things that made it particularly difficult for countries to manage the challenges cases escalated in their countries was the increasing, let's say, nationalization in some cases of some of the products that were needed to fight this pandemic. What we saw as we got out of the challenges around PPE, around ventilator shortages, etc., was really a tremendous commitment to work together and a recognition, as Mariangela said, that the world was going to have to collaborate to get out of this together. And so a huge amount of work was done through the ACT Accelerator, the COVAX mechanism, and numerous other approaches to try and ensure we didn't end up in that situation again, because the tools that we need to tackle this disease are scarce, and they're not available everywhere. But the people who are at risk and who are threatened by this disease, of course, are distributed throughout the world. So it's absolutely essential that trade barriers or restrictions do not get in the way of trying to beat this disease on a global scale. And ultimately, as Mariangela outlined, it is such an interconnected world that we are working in today. Parts of a vaccine, some of the raw materials may come from one country. It may be made into the vaccine in another country. It may be filled and finished in yet another country or labeled. So this can end up being a self-defeating approach, actually, as well. And of course, most people are well aware of that, and most people are very, very keen to ensure that these tools can get to the people who need them everywhere on an equitable manner, because ultimately that's what we're trying to do, ensure the equitable rollout of these products everywhere. So anything that gets in the way of equity is a challenge.
Besibuka sona simo semkhuhlane iCovid-19 lapha eveni laseSwatini saphindze ke sabuka ukuthi nayo inhlangano yamhlaba leboke indzaba tetempilo ithini ngayo indzaba yemkhuhlane iCovid-19 lokukhulu ngendzaba etfolakala kwelikhambi emakhambi phela takhona ukuthi nawo onke emave akhona kufinyelela kuwo lesikhathi manje siyakhona etitolo nasibuya sibuya netindzaba tefuthi esibili talesuku Kusile. Good morning.
In order to bring to life and to defeat and overcome the ongoing global pandemic coronavirus, food with a balanced diet plays a vital role. Eswatini TV brings to you a fresh season of Kudla Kwempilo to see how our farmers bring food to the nation, the challenges our farmers are facing in this pandemic, the struggle, the fight, the national lockdown, the intervention from the government to help our local farmers. Watch this first season of Kudla Kwempilo on Eswatini TV. Learn, be advised, and be inspired by local farmers and how they are making great changes in this era of COVID-19. Kudla Kwempilo, food for life.
Malanga namahle sanemukela etindzabeni tetfuthi esibili talolusuku libito lami ngisamgeliswe ngwakakhoza. Bafuyi basemhlane emandabeni bakhala imatfosi ngekubuya kwemfuyo kulendzawo njengoba bathi solokusukela umnyaka losetulu sokubuya imfuyo lendlulako ekhulwini. Munye labafuyi imandla agcinzile kumfuyo wetshelo umhlambi wetinkomo letinge-43 uthi basola ukuthi imfuyo yabo ithengiswa eveni labo makhelwane eNingizimu Afrika.
Letakhamuti tithi eminyakeni lengcile imfuyo beyayilahleke kulendzawo kodwa bekungasiko kubi kangaka. Lokhulumele abafuyi labalahlekelwe nguletinkomo uMandla Gcinzi ucela uhulumende ukuthi aqiniseke ukuphepha ikakhulu ediladini lelihlukanisa la kuleli naseNingizimu Afrika eLunzi.
Kwathi kumakhelwane wami bathatha 4. Kulomunye futhi makhelwane bathatha 2. Nakulomunye futhi makhelwane bathatha 1. Nakulomunye futhi makhelwane bathatha 1. Kwabe sekuthi ke umakhelwane bami labadibhisa ke bona kulelinye elidiphu bona ke kulomunye makhelwane bamthathele 25. Lomunye angati kahle ukuthi tingaki kodwa atiyenza lapha ku 15. Siyeva lokho ukuthi letinkomo timixwa ngalapha ku Mayflower eSouth Africa. Ungazi ukuthi ke le eSouth Africa kuyaye kube nendali leyayifike khona bese ke dithengiswa khona letinkomo tethu.
Umsumpi wasemhlane Bongani Shongwe uthi kunesive sakulendzawo lesisolakalako kulokulahleka kwalemfuyo.
Yendo vele kuyavala sikunebantu abakhona kunemkhonyovu lokhona la emangweni. Yabantu baxhumana nebantu abalaba batshele ngesimo sokuhamba kanjani balungise nabo bahlele sibahlala betana kuphi nasebatinga nalemhlambi kude lewadiwe kuphona vele kuona vele kukhona kukhona lomleluhinyana sisho vele sikugcina sekuphunyungwa kubantu abanengi ngasona isimo lesinjengalesi sekuphunywa abantu bafaka etandleni.
Umxhumanisi wesive nemaphoyisa aphindile Vilakati uthi bakhona abafuyi bakulendzawo lababike kulahlekelwa tinkomo etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Fortune Dlangamandla ngisemhlane.
Luhlelo lokwabiwa kwemandi ngekwenetisa liyaqala lomuhla eMbabane etindzaweni letitsite kuleli dolobha kusukela ngensimbi yelishumi ekuseni. Takhamuti semacentselweni naleli dolobha sekuqalile kwakhelela emandi kulungiselela kucala kwalolu hlelo.
Kwabiwa kwemandi etindzaweni letikhetsekile kubangwe kulimala kweliphayipi lenkapani yemandi eFontaine kuleti mvula betinemandla letinile evikini leliphelile. Njengoba le nkampani salilungisa leli phayiphi, lithethe isinqumo sekwenetisa tonke takhamuti ngekuthi yabe emanti. Lokwabiwa kwalamandi kuyaqala ngensimbi elishumi ekuseni ngemsombuluko etindzaweni letifaka ekhathi eFontaine, eMountain Drive, eMdzangweni, eSithobelweni, eMseni Drive, Lidede Street, ePTC Flats, eMangwaneni, kuMahwalala, Lomkiri, eCheckers kanye nasePine Valley. Umxhumanisi wenkampani yemandi noMahlubi Matiwane uthi le nkampani ikhethe letikhathi ngelithemba lekuthi angeke bantu batheka beteke kakhulu.
Ikhathi ke sitibekile lebese themba ukuthi kutaba dikhathi leticishe tisita emacustomer ukuthi bakhone kusebenzisa emanti ngesikhathi lesingase siconvenient kubo. Luhla lethu ke lucala mhla ka1 lokutabe kukusasa ngemsombuluko. Emanti ku group A atabe akhona kusasa kucala nga10 ekseni batawuze balale solo banawo. Ngalesibili mhla ka2 banawo aphele nga10 am. Usuka nga10 am kuyofika ku12 ebusuku ngalesibili atabe atholakala ka group B. Nabo ukuthi ngalesithathu kuse ekseni banawo emanti aze aphele nga10. Utawumuketelwana ke kanjalo sethemba ukuthi kutaba dikhathi le emacustomer ethu atawuthola kusitakala.
Matiwane uthi nanoma etikhathi tibekiwe kutawuhle kwenteka ukuthi emanti angabuyi ngetikhathi letibekiwe njengoba emanti awafani nagezi wona athatha sikhashana njengoba ahamba ngemaphayiphi. Uyacela ukuthi sive singakhathateki makwenteka lokhu. Edindzabeni kubuya lungelela Makagula Nambongwa Dube eMbabane.
Ugcine utholakala ngelisondvo ekuseni umtimba wejaha lemuka emfuleni ingwembisi ngalesibili. Baba wemufi Mduduzi Mabuza losakhamuti ngaphansi kwenkundla yasePhondo usumtimba wenvodzana yakhe utholakele sowuvele wonakele.
Lesivumbi semumfi sitfolakele sindande entazi nemfuli ingwempisi emhlatane kanti besuka emgazini emponono sikishwe tinhlambi temaphoyisa. Bese semuke amakhilomitha lalinganiselwa kulasihlanu kanti umufi utfolakele sekasene kwekucalela nje kuphela. Baba waleli jaha Mduduzi Mabuza uthi icela impilo bekaneminyaka lenga-23.
Ucela usamabuza utholakala sonakele kakhulu emanti samona kakhulu asavuvukile. Vele asangasalusi kahle vele bamalile nasemoshali bathi asimfihle namhla enzambama.
Lotfole lesidumbu semufi ngusibongile Malaza lothi utfole licingo loluthi akagadze emfuleni njengaloku kunemtimba lobonakele umuka.
Abechamuka le enhla ngakazimelene nengwembisi. Ngehla ke bathi ngizombona. Ngambona ke hamba nale ngwembisi ke lo muntu. Ngathi sengiyahamba sengizitshela ukuthi lo muntu usowusithele lenzansi. Kwase kuyangitshela nje ngajika ngehla ngale ngwembisi ngase ngimthola kulo mfula lo andanda khona. Kodwa ke amaphoyisa bese sivele Eswatini aduka ayoshona le edlelweni wona. Kwathi ke ngabo 27 afika emaphoyisa. Avele ke angena amkhipha kodwa ke asamtholele umfula lo somkhahlele sombeke lapha nje khashana.
Ilunga lephalamende lenkundla yasePhondo Colani Vilakathi ucwayisa sive ngekuwela imifula njengaloku igcwele kulandzela timvula letitfolwe live emalangeni lengcile.
Ngaba kucwayisa sona sive lesidudane nalenkundla ukuthi noma abematibuko bebawathi ukuthi ayeweleka kodwa ke sicela ukuthi kusukela kulamalanga bamane basebenzise leto tindlela leti phephile tekewela kungaba mhlawumbe mabloho ekwewela labahamba ngetinyawo noma lawo wetimoto kulandzela ukuthi imifula igola tintsetse kulamalanga.
Umbiko welibandla lekuphunga tehlakala uthi bebasebane bantfu labasishile emhlabeni labemukiswe nguzamcolo Cyclone Oloisi. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Fortune Dlangamandla ngisengwempisi.
Takhamuti tasemkhaya ngaphansi kwenkundla yasesiphofaneni disukumele etulu kuyolungisa umgwaqo wakulendzawo lobogcwele sihlabathi kanye netigotsi ungasahambeki.
Takhamiti tasemkhaya phansi kwenkundla yasesiphofaneni tisukume temangetinyawo tabumbana talungisa umgwaqo esiteshini emkhaya logcwele tigotsi temhlabathi. Takhamiti tithi tisibone sisikhulu sidingo sekulungisa lo mgwaqo njengoba timotolo betita tigijima kulendzawo bese tifika timakamadima lokungadala tingoti titfole emasaphatelo njengoba emabhizinisi abo athutane nemgwaco.
Affect abashayeli kakhulu sisi ngoba bekachamuka lomnyagijima kakhulu. Khande tsongena lapha eweni lapha sekuthingathi nesuka lapha etolo la simakethe khona sitestomkhokha la wena. Bese isikhathi uchamuke wena uyogibela uyahamba uyesiphofaneni. Mawufika lapha imoto ichamuke igijima kakhulu. Iconze lapha kuwe utimele wena lapha ngenxa yalomhlabathi. Saseke sibuka ukuthi ingqono lomhlabathi sisusele ngoma sekwenze emalanga bese tabantu uhulumende utawufaka sigulumba mhlamba waye njengahlala end. Siyabona ukuthi isimo lonyaka asivuma.
Bashayeli betimotolo bathi bawubonga kakhulu lo msebenzi lo wentiwa nguleta committee.
Badlala ikhaza elikhulu kakhulu ngoba na ubuka nathi ingoti bese tiyanza la kuchamuka ngoba yebo kona abantu bayathi imigwaqo yonakele. Kodwa la kwente ukhansela umgwaqo mubi imoto yethuke lokuhlala alomnyaka kathi ukuthi kwentekeni kulendzawo. Kanti akabona labantu bakhona bakwendako la enangini. Liyehla tubane nathi siyasitakala ngosami sibantu betimoto sikhona ukuhamba.
Singethuka kakhulu kubona abantu labasukuma ngendlela lenje banakekele abantu labasuka Mozambique, South Africa banakekela wonke umuntu hayi ukuthi batendela bona. Balusitho nje kakhulu asathi uhulumende ukuthi bekangathini nangakabakhanze nje noba banike nje lokungaba sibonga ukuthi angababonga ngani.
Emaphoyisa embube yacelile ukuthi bashayeli betimotolo bashayele ngekucophelela emgwaqweni kugwema tingoti emgwaqweni. Etindzabeni kubika Thembelihle Magutshwa, Tithombe Ngithemba Shabanga eMkhaya.
Jinela lomkhulu etiko letemisebenzi lemikhulu nekutfutsa Vincent Dlamini uthi kusehleleni lalelitiko ukucetsisa kwakhiwa kwelibhloho laseThawela lesetshenziswa abamvu labanyenti. Dlamini unika sivetvo logcina nje sekwamila tihlahla netshani lapho kwabeka khona tindvo tekwakhiwa kwalelibhloho. Lokusimo lesithikabeta kakhulu bamvu bakulendzawo ngekuphela kwawo lomsebenzi.
Ngeminyaka wanga-2015 kuleli bhloho kwemuka ikhumbi lenebantu kwalahleka imiphefumulo lefika ke 15 kwaba ngilapho uhulumende lakathatha khona sinqumo sekulungisa noma tathenga tindvo tekulakha kodwa solo tahlala letinye setize tifihlwe ngumena. Jinela lomkhulu etiko letemsebenzi lemkhulu nekutfutsa Vincent Dlamini uthi uhulumende bekete imali yakwakha leli bhloho kodwa nyalo sesifakiwe isicelo semali yekwenta yomsebenzi.
Njengoba kwabekwa nje lama culvert labekwa lamabhokisi labekwa lapha kwakuvele kuhlokota kona lokuthi umsebenzi uchubeka maneke endleleni sabe sesakasishodela nakasishodela wakhanza ukuthi netindlela tekwatfola nato acabi ngetibalula kepha ke siyabuka nyalo nje sicelile njengoba kusetshenziswa ama-budget nje nyalo sicelile lokuthi sifake timali njengesicelo. So ingcenye yaleto timali leto kutaba vele ngiko kuyocedzela lela bhloho.
Buchopho basemgazini Psycho Dlamini uthi leli bhloho lisetshenziswa kakhulu sive zasemgazini naselishikishini.
Naline kakhulu nje kuyashelela kuwele kumbamba ke lamfuleke. Sekufuna abalove abantwana noma ke ba risk vele bawele. Ngaleyo ndlela bawela ngawo lesingathi sibawela njani.
Sive lesebenzisa leli bhloho sicela uhulumende ukuthi afana acedzise lo msebenzi.
Leli bhloho kudzala solo linje. Sebesibona ke kunanati yatinsimbi ngale ngeshaya sibona sithi mhlambe khona labasendela kona phela sekuyalunga. Bathi kude.
Njengobona nje nyalo selihamukile konja kwambe kuvela. Kulukhuni. Ngicabanga noma sekuvula itikolo vele kutawa madima nje nakungabe kusulo songjena.
Lesinye sive lesebenzisa leli bhloho ngileso lesisuke siye edolobheni eMankayane kuyofuna tindvu tasemakhaya etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Fortune Dlangamandla ngiselishikishini. Bamfu labadzala kanye nemalimi elubonjeni bathi kuyinjabulo ukubona kucuba kwematsheje emhlabathini kulamalanga lokuyindvo lekadze yagcina kwenteka etindzaweni letinyenti kulesifundza. Kana amatsheje abonakale kubendive litfole timvula letinemandla emalangeni lendlulile.
Timvula letinkulu letitsele ngemandla tente kutsi kucubuke ematsheje etindzaweni letinyenti ehlandzeni lekuyintfo bantfu labadzala labathi sekadze bayigcina njengoba livame komisa. Labantfu labadzala bathi lamanti lasabonakala cubuka phansi kulamalanga asho lokukhulu kubo njengoba loku sekwaba imvela kancane emvelweni.
Phela kusho injabulo ngoba sibafuyi benkomo nathi nje bese simangele imali balela ngako ukuthi le nkomo liyawuphila kanjani. Mangabe nje kudabuka emacheche nje siva siyajabula ngoba netshani buyawukhula noma amadlelo sadleka nje asamancane kodwa nje lapho la khona khotha khona tawukhotha ngo.
Sibona amatete avukile kangaka kusho ukuthi lidulu lineyakhulu lamahlanzeni. Nebalimi ufuna bacale phasi balime nyalo lamahlanzeni.
Njengabantu lesikhulele la kusikhumbuta nje ukuthi masikhula kwakuvele kunje ngoba kunetindzawo lesitatiwe ukuthi vele betinawo lamatsheche tinetiyalo kepha bese kwabede lo kepha ke masikubona lokhu siyabona ukuthi awu kusho silive ngabe libuyele esimene kwasijabulisa kona ngoba kunemfuyo manje ke makwenteka nje kuyasho ukuthi naloko emadlelo amancane kodwa nje tilwane titawuphila.
Abalimi bathi nanoma lemvula ilimete lokunyenti lebe bakulimile kodwa ibasitile kulokunye lokufaka ekhathi imfuyo ehlanzeni letawuba nemandi yekunatha impela. Etindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Thembelihle Magutshwa, Tfombeng Themba Shabangu Elubonjeni.
Gogo ufanisile Masekwa kumahwalala embabane lokhubadenge kungaboni emehlweni ucela lisito esiveni njengoba kade alala etiko kuye nemntukulu wakhe loneminyaka leli-12 lahlala naye.
Gogo Maseko uneminyaka leli-16 nalemibili. Unakwa umntukulu wakhe loneminyaka leli-12. Waqala kungaboni emehlweni eminyakeni lesi-6 leyengcile emva kokuthi yagula yasesemsebentini. Gogo Maseko abesebenza emakethe athengisa tibhidvo netithelo. Uthi ngalelinye lilanga kwendeka ukuthi awe phansi waphaphama sekasesibhedlela. Uthi lokugula kwakhe kwamcala ekubeni kwendeke lokho. Uthi sibucayi isimo ngoba kulikhuni ukuthi utawulinza ukuthi konke utowendelwa ngilomntukulu wakhe loneminyaka lengu-12.
Ngakhona nje ona nje kuba simo nangithuke ngathola linazana udoswa ngena bakula bokuboniswa khala tensafa indlala okusilasikapheki sifile indlala dame ke nambana phutile latamako lokuphelele bale nako longayenzayo sima kude siyabhetha bhetha kunze kubhetha nokugula kubhetha nesimo kubhetha ihlupheko konke kwakuvula isikolo nje amangidade uthingeni.
Gogo Maseko uthi uhle aluthola lusito lwekudla kubomakhelwane kodwa kuyendeka balale ngendlala emalanga alandzelana. Lo ngaba nesifiso sokusita angathinza lomsakato eluhlangothini lwebetindzaba. Etindzabeni kubuya lungelele amagagula nambongwadube embabane.
Tetfu temidlalo. Mengamelo enhlangano emidlalo werugby kuleli simanga makakula uthi umkhuhlane iCovid-19 usikabete kakhulu uhlelo lalenhlangano lokusukumisa emacembu lamasha etigodini totini etelive kanye necutela sive seMaswati kuthi siudlale lo mdlalo.
Imidlalo yerugby kuleli sangakafika ezingeni lelisetulu kanti na 7 kusangakabe ngumdlalo lodlala abadlali abaningi. Inhlangano edlalisa lo mdlalo beyivedile eminyakeni leyendlulile ukuthi bafuna kwenta taba tekukhulisa lo mdlalo ngekuthi bawumikise ukuthi tonke tifundza takuleli kanye nasetikolweni lokutosita ukuthi bantfu bawati kangcono lo mdlalo. Kepha-ke ngemva kwekuphetfwa komkhuhlane we-COVID-19 onke lawo maphupho sekabambelelekile njengaloku lo mdlalo solo wamiswa sekuyofika sikhathi lesiyofika eminyakeni. Mengamelo lenhlangano Simanga Magagula uthi balimele kakhulu ngekumiswa kwalo mdlalo.
Ku-recruitment yethu naku-Eswatini sikhanze i-rugby beyisadevelopa. We have got only 8 clubs la even lonke, so isifiso sethu bekuthi nje ocishe onke ama-region ethu agcine anayo i-rugby, but nje nasibathe siyabuka asikhoni ukuphuma siye ngephandle siyo-recruiter, asikhoni kujima because i-COVID imatima kakhulu. Thina funa ujuluke nawudlala i-rugby ubambane nemuntu, so kulikhulu kakhulu ngakithi vele silimele konke cishe konke thina la kaNgwane ngoba nemishini ayidulile ukuthi imali timatima ukuthi singakhona ukuthi siteste badlali onke malanga kuze ukuthi bakhona emidlalweni ngawona ukuthi sisadevelopa vele sisephasi kakhulu ezingeni le-rugby la kaNgwane.
Magagula uthi ngenyanga yakholwane kumele live liyongenela imidlalo yensebe ye-Afrika litokhipha loyo lotokhona kongenela imidlalo yekuhlungela imidlalo ye-World Cup kanti basatokhulumisana nahulumende kubuka ukuthi bangabambisana kanjani ukuthi bagcina bakhonile kuyingenela le midlalo.
Sawuzama ukuthi sikhulumisane nebaka-Sports Council kucela ukuthi ngabe uhulumende beyangasisita ngakuphi ngoba sikhanza thine kukabi ukuthi i-national team yethu ingadlali singaparticipate kulamanye emave ngephandle ngoba lo mdlalo ngeke uthuthuke nangabe sitawutsiza nje ngoba sekunekhona nabo sesidlala phasi.
Uphethe ngawe Magagula ukuthi badlali balomdlalo bayacela ukuthi baqhubeke batilolonga bangahlali nje phasi lebetawubasita ukuthi nasekubuyela abadlali batikhanze basezingeni lokutawenda ukuthi basheshe baqale imidlalo yabo. Lobikela umsakazo weSwatini TV kutemidlalo ngiphathiswe Msibi eMbabane.
Mana nginamahle sifika kanjalo ke emaphethelweni ado tindzaba defu lebetesibili kulolu suku lalomuhla lesikhasa manje siyakhona etitolo sibuye siyachubeka nalo luhlelo Kusile. Good morning.
Swag radar. Hey girlfriend, call me. Hey, my name is Gigi Callahan. And Gigi's a movie star I haven't seen in my life. I can't really say hello everyone. This is who I am. But let's go.
You ain't on my swag radar.
Why should we pay our TV license?
The content on our local television is actually more up to date. The industry is enhanced.
It is a criminal offense not to pay your TV license and attracts a fine of 500 emalangeni or 6 months imprisonment.
And the industry is definitely blooming, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we have for you. But we'll be right back just after the break and we'll give you more of Miss V.
Pay my TV license. That's why I can enjoy the benefits of an enhanced industry and keep track with recent transformation.
Mommy, who paid for a TV license and what are they paying for?
The owners of TV set and a gadget with a tuner like DVD set have to pay.
Pay your TV license at NetBank with the details provided on screen. Or use your cell phone via the mobile money pay. You could also visit your nearest post office and pay there. Pay your TV license via Eswatini mobile imali. Any TV device retailer can purchase a license to trade. Pay your TV license and enhance the industry.
On the blog, a story that depicts impilo yasemcashweni.
Nasekuna SJ. Hi!
Where relationships and friendships are tested.
Okay, but I think the only thing that I have to do right now is just break up with Mimi.
Families are torn apart by lies and deception. Love is easily replaceable.
Bye, love.
Don't miss season 4 of this jaw-dropping drama. On the blog, coming soon on Eswatini TV.
Sangivile uStemvele ngumthanda ngesikhathi sokuthi kamgiliji ngile kamgiliji kuyangishaya fezile
akuphaphamisa ngoba usemaphushweni
angeke ngunike ukuphumula wakanginike indoda kade yakho. Santi, iphi imali yakho?
Ngisadima lubanyana.
Santi lengisiphi imali yakho? Uthola amabaleka noma ubhaca khona la ngithole khona fesi.
Mina sidingo sebaleka noma sebhaca. Uma kwahlula kuvala lomnyana wakho nje. Mina ngiyawufana.
Temple. Asambe ekhaya. Angiyilwi nawe mina. Phela nje lengisho ukuthi kusekwendekile. Angeke sisho. Hey thula!
Malanga lamahle welcome back sala sithubeka nalo luhlelo Kusile breakfast show umsombuluko sanibukana namaswahleni sanza kulela wona umsakado wathi utithombe nasethi inkundleni tefuthi ekuxhumana siyabonga kakhulu ukuhlasana nasi sethembisile ukuthi lesikhathi lesi sizabe sinabo bakazithande athletics club tobukusana phathi lesikhathi lesi sikhathi semkhuhlane eCovid-19 uthi mhlabuhlangane healthy living promotes mental health umuntu akakhulu ukuthi umuntu ahlale ativocavoca ngaso sonke isikhathi kuze phela atawuhlala athole umtimba wakhe ungiloyo lophilile so khona ke umceceshi wakhona akazithande nsizwa thwala tobukusana kabanditi inzabade kuticecesha msethwala somwehleleni umhlekiseni
siyabonga umukela sibukele labo bonke basekhaya
mhlabuhlangene uthi a healthy living promotes mental health be active
bekuvele kunjalo kusatoba njalo bekunjalo kusethe umkhuhlane utaba njalo noma ukhona somkhulu umkhuhlane noma ungahamba lo mkhuhlane bekuvele kunjalo ngilona philisi limcoka lelo ngeke sakhanza kube kutivoqa voqa so ingiyayethu ukuthi sibe siyawulahla lokutivoqa voqa sabe sesikhathi sethu sesisifaka kuletinye ngeti customer manje like khona umuntu ofuna ukuhlala ku internet abukele lo munye ajima lo munye ufuna usikhathi sakho sibukela ngebhola hobby sesiwashintshile sekude le hobby le kwenda ukuthi ikubhadale wena oba noma ngabe ngithanda kanjani ibhola ngiyibukela ku TV ngidayibukela vele ngiphethe le tindo letapini letingmose labanye bayashashaya labanye benta ama popcorn bahlale ku TV umuntu 3 hours so mhlabuhlangene wenda kahle lokukhumbuta bantu ukuthi yini lokufuna siyende ungasike mhlabuhlangene phela wena umtimba wakho ungihulumende walomtimba wakho uNkulunkulu wakunika lo mtimba wanika wena wedwa and kulungelo lakho ukuthi uthathe to take care of your body hayi umngani wakho hayi lenifungane naye ukuthi niyofanele lahlane ngoba esibhedlela la ubuka esibhedlela kunembhedze single bed kusho kona ukuthi ubhadala tono takho kuphela nase boxini ongena wena so nasingathatha leyo mentality le singabuka ukuthi kusho mhlabuhlangene utibuke wena nje ukuthi irresponsibility yami lekufuna ngithathe take care of umtimba wami ngoba le ndlu le o le moto le ngiyogibela kuyo ngize ngihambe la emhlabeni awuphumi la mtimbeni so when we say the body is the vehicle that will drive you throughout the journey of life sho kona ukuthi kude nje ukuthi ngidawuthi namhla njengayimoto lengaphandle ngibhanga ngaphandle ngangena njengesicathulo ukuthi ngisinazane ungakwenda konke but it start with you mina nje ngingcoach ngakhuluma or ngingtrainer ngakhuluma but ingakamukelwa nguwe ungakayithathi lento njengoba ngiyibeka ukuthi yakho wakho lo mtimba utawumela mhlabuhlangene utawumela uhulumende utawumela abantu bemasport bantu bemasport bane term bohulumende bana 5 years after 5 years bayadlula wena une lifetime so ungablame ukuthi ngide isikhathi ohulumende akakwendi lokho nalokho sitawukhuluma ngato letinzaba ukuthi lokujima kusiko excuse akuna excuse kude umuntu lo une excuse noma ngabe uthi usebenza phasi emhlabathini ngathi kanjani kude umuntu ongafuneka ajime
asingene ke Mr Chala ekutheni ninyalo liningi lebambulise emakhaya uyasho ukuthi noma ngabe usebendaphi noma ngabe usebenza phasi emhlabathini noma ngabe lockdown ikhona noma ngabe lockdown kude lokusala ukuthi umuntu ukufuna ukuthi a exercise asingene ethi kulesikhathi lesi ke ngicala kuphi ngenda kanjani
lockdown into leseyendile mina bengicatha inyalo ngelockdown lokuphela ilockdown so ukuthi abantu basekhaya abakajaki emsebenzini work from home bengiso siphela isikhathi inyalo ukuthi udawuthi hayi ngijaka kwenda ipocket juice ebantwana kunjalo bengiso phela isikhathi onaso nyaso sekhaya naso lesikhathi sebenta lo mtimba wakho oba work from home nje bathi tesuka lemsebenzini after 60 years uyapenshelo uyabona umsebenzi into lofuna uyinake kuqala ngulo mdimba wakho uba kwakhona le 17 ubakeleso yini ngiletifo letikhona letifo letikhona thatha advantage sebashilo ukuthi na usidudla kakhulu nangabe ubhema nako lokusidudla kubanga yini ngilokudla kabi lelo ucale ngayo ukuthi mental health inengi ngiko thina sithi nasende ama boot camp esibida laba laba psychiatrist center sibida labantu kunengi lokwenda kuqala khona lapho ukuthi athi umuntu sengivalelekile angisakhona ukuhlola sindi angisakhona ukuhlola busisiwe kanze phela uvalelekile nje akwati valele wena so ngiko leli sikhuluma ukuthi le lockdown beyifune ukuthi na usekhaya kude nale excuse kube wena nje bokumngani wami namhlanje bodwa ngitshela ukuthi liyana asingayi kokugijima kanzi mina bengidathi itshela ukuthi ngifuna kuba ngilendo lentitshele mina yona hayi ukuthi umngani wami nalina kumngani wami ngeke mina uNkulunkulu wangibusisa ngesikhumba lesi waterproof kusho ukuthi ngeke ngene manje nangigijima lapha ngindawumphatha kahle ngihamba ngani nami umsakade kunebantu nalina kanje bayithanze kabi nomfosho nawe uyayiva bathi weather permits adla umuntu kwendlula ngenxa yeweather but awusafuna ukuexercise ngalokuthi liyana kodwa ufuna kwenda the opposite and the opposite of saying weather permits kusho ukuthi udla kakhulu sineke sithini there's no rain in the army there's an army in the rain uvela ushone khona oba lelo langa lelo kungumusa nyalo kuvuka namhla lokho lokusilana nje kungumusa angeke ke ukuthi sinike umusa ukuthi bantu bafa solo wena usagathe lembu uhlala endlini hayi angeke ngikwende lokho hamba uyowenda le into ofuna utenda ngewadi ukuthi kutaba between life and death buka labantu abakhuluma kohulumende usho ukuthini laba kamhlaba basho bathi asishukume shukuma bayadi boshini buka abantu abayisibhedlela namhla lapha akusiba badle ama drugs ma food addicts labantu labadala abantu labangajimi laba lapha esibhedlela noma lapha uyolandzela line tifo letingakhona ukuthi besingathi ivikela but nyalo sesiyogcwalisa imbethe ngenqanani yema habits ethu but sitakhuluma ke lokuthi lama habits are influencer ngileti cuts tamanje lesisho ukuthi lesikhathi lo naso usisebenzise kabi ukhona nje lo nsulavukile ku-internet ubuka bantu laba fit kukhona lokukhuluma kuze kushone ilanga khulume ngebhola ledlalwa abantu laba fit laba exercise aze aba criticize hey lo uyazidlisa what makes a soccer player uyajimini lo muntu ayende agility speed strength adle kahle umbona sambona sanje but into ohlala 30 minutes udla ubuthi hayi lo uyazidlisa so naka wena isilogan sasithanda sithini ingawe lento sine nje silokuni speed lesifuna ukukhuluma ukuthi ingawe lento don't blame anybody nguwe umnikati waleli tempele lowani waNkulunkulu it's your sole responsibility so sihamba ngaloko sesiwami
asingeneke Mr Thala ukuthi nyalo lokungihlede ekhaya yini nje le exercises lengingawenda kuze ngikhona phela ukuthi umtimba wami uhlale ungiloyo ngathi mina uphilile uyabekisa ukuthi esikhathini lesiningi khanza sitifo letiningi singakhona ukuthi sitivikele kude nangabe sitawusukuma sishukuma
isekutheni ukuthi njengoba sicale ukuthi cala utilungisele ngcono ngoba noma ngakunika ama exercise noma ngawasho namhla li page lonke lema exercise ngwa demonstrate inqumbe abantu sebabonile sihambile nasemaphepheni sihenda nema bootcamp ngwa demonstrate but ungakatholi le motivation wena ungakasuku kuwe so into lemcoka lekuqala find self motivation know why you are doing this thing ukuthi ngitendela lokho futhi angikwentela ukuthi ngibone bani agcuke kahle noma ngibone bani agijima kanje ukuthi sekuto comparison no mine ngente njani ngikhuluphele kanjani solo ngadinaki ngakhuphuka le ladi ngikhuphuka kancane kancane angabe sengifuna iparachute ngale ukuthi hey hawu sengikhuluphele sengifuna kwehla kusasa sengifuna kwehla umkhaba gibela ladi lendlela lokugibele ngayo nokwehla kwakhona akube step by step bantu laba njani lokunkinga nyalo kuvilapha umsakade angeke sikhuluma kuvilapha oba unalo exercise olento semncane le exercise phela liphuma kufashion i exercise i movement angeke nje liphuma kufashion ndawubekisa ngalesi kwenta kakhulu thina ukugijima sakhanza ukugijima siyohamba ukugijima kude umlo ngathi ukugijima ukuthi kuyini kodwa kunale motivation lack of motivation ukuthi ngiqala ngithini but uqala ke imbi yimi la enhloko ukuthi mina ensizwa thwala sengikhathele ngiloko lo mkhuba lona sengiyawuyekela lo ukuthi ndawusolo ngithi kusasa ngicala nyalo lamuhla ngicala naye indlela lebhekale unganaki futhi kwehla abantu ngiyani abantu lebasekhaya nje kanyalo athi hey ngifuna kwehla asokuqala ushintsha umkhuba angathi kufana nasesontweni wemukela Jesu awufuni imangaliso mukela Jesu udabe uyabona umsebenzi yakhe ungafuni imangaliso nala kunjalo yivumelendo ukuthi ungwami lo mtimba ngidawusuka bese ngikhanike songathi ama exercise ukuthi sozamile yathi ngigijimile kodwa khona lapha bese kuba khona sesicorrecta lapho thina ukuthi oh hayi kuyobe ngumateki oh hayi ukuthi wena udawumela ukuthi ngifuna ukuze ngithenge iNike ngifuna ukuze ngithenge phela umtimba wakho usangalungela iNike wena umtimba wakho ulungela ukuthi ukujime noma ngangani but nasobona ukuthi lokhu sokuyangigongwela sengikhanda ubona khona ubona ungaphandle utawubona wena ama exercise ukuthi hayi lo ngathi ngilipenda kabi le exercise then sengikhona ke lapha singasho ama exercise ukuthi kukhona kugcuma most effective exercise kona gijima kugcuma ma push up press up kunalama exercise la thinta le mitimba le muscle lokuthiwa icore lokuthi noma ngabe wenda ini but uwafake lawo ama exercise lawo but uwafaka ekutheni ubona ukuthi uzame ngoba sesikhuluma iqiniso msakade kuthi umuntu ongathi le exercise nyalo kuthi umuntu omdzalo ongathi nje ukuthi leli exercise ngisho nomntwana nyalo ukukhanza lingisa abantu abadala abajima buyela emuva yenda lawo ama exercise lawo utibone ungakayi internet ungakayi ukuthi body goals ngoba naku la kusibisha khona ukuthi thina sisethela lento ngisekhaya nje ngifuna kubona ngibonile Twala ku TV ngifuna kuba njengaye ngeke kube njengami noma wasitalwa kanye namaphahla ngehealth and fitness ngeke sibe identical ne body shape ngeke wena khona sitho you are unique in your own way so umuntu okufuna be body goal nguwe ukuthi sengingcono kunabe ngiyo idolo oba ngiyo le fitness ukuthi idolo ngizame ngathi namhla na ukhupha phela kwento lebhadala nako ke leyo uexercise ngiyo kukhulunywa ngako la singakhuluma ngemaphilisi ayethe ama vaccine ayekuthanda but kude ivaccine lemqoka ngako ukuthi uprevent lama diseases lalamanye ngoba le covid lesikhuluma ngayo lesifaka emakhaya nyalo ithatha iadvantage kunata tinonatiya kude nje kwanza ukuthi bathi sifo lesi icovid basho ukuthi covid related so wena ayithifika nale vaccine ukukhanza uphilile phela ugoma uba ivaccine ngesiswati bokugoma phela ugoma into lephilile angeke nje uthi uyagoma kanje vele sekude noma ngagoma futhi akude lokutakwenta ukuthi ngeke ukuvimbele ukuthi ungakhuluphali utawucutha ngigathele ukugoma asiyende ngamkhuba ukuthi sitithanza thine njengoba igama lisho siyadithanza lapho ekhaya bese ngikhanike so utawufuna ukuthi ngathi sengiwendile ama exercise sengenda kanje so uqhabanga ke le athi umkhuba soshintshile sengiyajima nyalo senginesikhathi sokupheka indweti kahle la kuphekeni kwami angisayi ngakudla ukuthi ngale lwimi lami lethini sengidla ngokuthi lo mtimba wami ufunani uba nako lokho phela ukuthi sitawubekisa nje isinto lesekukhona kulamandla umuntu akanamahloni umuntu ukubeka tshwala hey I'm refreshing taba nema likes asowubeka emanti upost emanti kude umuntu akukhulumisa thina nje nyalo siku fruit and vegetable diet sitawudla wona sicala itolo siyawudla wona kuze ufike umgcibelo awudli ama fruits awudli lokunye udle ama fruits nama veg awufaki boswayi awufaki kodwa nasiposta la bancane labo like kunalo una uposte inyama na uposte ngiyokuthi sesendatindo lesisichazako hayi letisithanzako le labo giant burger leba display wako lo isuicide lento leyo uthi kubhela wena kanzi lento ufuna udle not according to your taste but udle into lesitaka mtimba sasitshelwa sibancane ukuthi kudla kufuna kube netaka mtimba ungathi kuba hayi kudla diet kulikhuni so hamba udownload tona lokudla lipalish li health phela ukuthi you need to eat the right amount angithi bathi ukuthi udle esibhakela inyama nayona uhlupha umuntu ufaka umbhido but ngeke ukubone lokho nawungavula bo internet ngathi ngana ngalokuthi sebathi into yakadzeni utawubona lokhu ma artificials lokhu ngathi kuyumsobhanyana sweet sour konjani lolo lokuphinze lo mtimba unakufika akubeke la unyanya khona ukhanda umuntu sokukhule ngala umuntu inzamo sinazanene utende yena so ngiko lokusithi singakasho uma exercise ngasini awuqabange letinto lokutenda ukuthi uyadi poison wena lento kufune ifike ngawe ungatshelwa ngilomunye umuntu ifike la ukuthi mine nendlu yami ngidahamba ngoba phela yindlu sibolekiwe ngidawuhamba kanje so umuntu losekhaya nyalo sithi kule lockdown cala umkhuba lomusha shintsha umkhuba unganake ama results ukhuluphelele umunye ukhuluphele for 20 years but ufuna kwehla in 20 hours ngeke kwenteke lokho kulo 20 years reverse because naye lento lemqoko ithi kuthini ukuthi umuntu exercise ako nawe nabantu banoseka uyamatha umuntu exercise ukuthi ubukeka athletic ubukeka amncane ngiko lesikufuna ukuthi ungaye esibhedlela uphelile umnyaka lophelile nje abantu bebaya esibhedlela ngenxa ye COVID labanye banatha imithi lebangakashiwo ngudokotela nyalo bayayinatha ngekwesaba ngana ude iconfident lo muntu uve wena uthi antibiotic bathi yasithi uyathatha lokwa nalokwa uyathatha akawu kude la usita khona umdimba ukuthi akasengikhiphe lento ngiyifome kude lapha engidla khona kanjani uphenza ngeteletu kwalotshwala lo ungabe ukhiphile so getha le maphilisi la ngakakuniki wona dokotela lo uthi vele wona estradini so ngiwe lo mkhuba lo ukuthi asesipromote kucala lokuthi ithanza lokuthi naka wasalungisa lokuthi naka usitawunaka live sitawunaka yonke into ngoba ngile mikhuba yethu lelesibeke la sikhona khona kube ngathi nyalo sekubi kunje sesikhamba ngetikhathi tanyalo ngibukela iphepha nini ngakhanza ukuthi bathi chabi bani ngabathi ngiyabuka nani ngishayela ngathi ngidayithatha ke na interview naye nginto lethi ndifuna sikhulume ngathi la magama kunayisa lokuthi nasenikhuluphele bo chabi bo tik akusebenzi letinto lethi nginto lethi akudududa ngakutshela ngithi usidule ngithi hayi umuhle ngisho ngathi ngingati nginaza ngasho kanjalo kusasa ubuyela le yohla kanti ufuna ngikutshele nje ukuthi akulungisisi
ngifuna singene la kutheneni Mr Chala singachubeke ukuthi kunana timvo lesetikhona nyalo nawukhanza ukuthi uyasho ukuthi ngingayethule enkulu ukuthi siyavilapha asingene kutheneni ke kunana khanze ukuthi kunana imithi lesiyitfola kunyalo kuthiwa anginathe ini ngidawo ehla kangaka asingene mebheki infinity kanjalo ke and second singene nasekutheneni sikhuluma ngekuthi sikhuluma ngema double back if ngidawudlala ama double back then bese ngiyangena emgwaqeni ngiyojima it doesn't help yini
cha akusithi phela sidlela kufuela umtimba lokujima akusiyo ukuthi sijimela ukuthi sidle kabi lokujima kwe health and fitness awuthi ulingisa ingulube lo icleaner uyobhuqa etsakeni uthi icleanile wena ufuna udle kahle kude engidawubekisa msakade kude umbilo lesipele kude liphapho lelisipele na utawuthi wena ngidathi dlaphatisa namhla ngidawo ejimini kusasa ngiko lokumoshe abantu inqumbi bantu bathathe kujima ngathi it's punishment for what you did I will work it out at the gym I will sweat it out mina ngijima comrades 90 k's ngidla ekseni nga2 nangiyogijima comrade but I don't eat that much lolobona la cabanga icomrade ukuthi into distance from Pietermaritzburg to Durban kodwa angeke sengidle naku lebakudlako bathi bona I will work it out at the gym uba nale nature yokuvilapha kwethu kude umuntu lo wenda le workout ukuthi ibe required ukuthi ngabe seyishise lento le utakushisa njani ngoba phela sikhuluma ngawo lo ma energy drink angeke phela uqale ngayo ngoba inabo shukela lento I fat potential maker kwawena phela mentally shothi wena usakhona ukwenda into ngaphandle kokuthi uqamqambithe yabo ngiko thina sipromoter sithi train early in the morning before your mind figure out what you're doing to your body utume lo mtimba ungabe selokucabanga ukuthi angadli ngilele njani vuka nje uhambe ukujima on an empty stomach ubuye ufake the right thing phinde sibuye ke lapho ukuthi ama products phela i-commercial uyathengiswa uyakhangiswa into lekhangisa ungeke ukuthi bese ubeka bubi bayo yinye into le odimbili into letikhuluma kahle lesesitolo letakutshela lugwayi lubhaliwe ukuthi lubanga umdlavuza lugwayi libhokisi lugwayi tshwala ukhona labasho ukuthi kunenkinga konke lo lokunye kude kubhalwa ngetaste refreshment give you strength kutakwehlisa utangehlisa njani na uthi wena angehle nje ngokuthi ngithathe into ngitapu ekseni lokuyadamatisa kunani lokulakhathi kulento lengende ngehlisa so sengilapho ke wena so compromise le health yakho ngalokuthi ufuna kunqama ucansi wena impilo ngilokuba nqama kanti impilo ku health and fitness whatsoever body size or shape lokuye health and fitness kude loku replace exercise oba lento lothi wena uyedayinatha ivale le hunger inale effect lo mtimba wakho uNkulunkulu akawudalela ukuthi kwakhona step lokuthi asinatha ukuthi ungahle uze nawufuna kudla kahle idiscipline ditshele ngicela ngithi ingawe le ditshela ukuthi hlito yami awuyekele uba ngaphandle ngifuna na into leta ngibhadala. That's what we call discipline. Discipline is doing what you want best most, not what you want now. What you want now ngile kufuna i-test but imani ukuthi ngafuna okunja njani. Kanti what you want the most is having a good body, a healthy lifestyle, because i-health ihambisana ne-happiness. Wonke umuntu ungakutiyenga ukuthini, wonke umuntu lo healthy is the most happiest. So asesiyeke lama shortcuts oba ngiyo lama shortcuts esihambe awulanza letinto lesikhuluma ngathi ukuthi nate eshelfini vele letinto phela batatenda tibedihle batati promote ngendlela ngokuthi phela i-promotion isho ukuthi ayihambe lento eshelfini but itibuteke lapha ekhaya ukuthi lokho sekugqwele lama product kodwa solo tituhla tingaka yini uyabona ukuthi ikhona lento lengekho lele ngicale ngayo ukuthi noma ngakunikani angeke ungakamukeli wena ukuthi lo mtimba lo angisawufuni so uyahlukana le relationship. And futhi lokunye wona lama products phela ngingo lasabange lokho umuntu nje adle nyalo athi uthi hayi bathethe ngidaba bese ngiyakusheka ndawo nathi into yami ndaba bese lamafutha aze umuntu wamuva akasajim lo muntu lo akasenenzaba so nake nalibhodlela lakhe ngilo ke lelibhodlela lethaza afike ke tifo nyalo tikhanza umuntu kubhalene kunema preservative phela tini kunema colored ukwanza ukuthi kubhalwe ukuthi nanchi flavored grapefruit which is colored, that thing is flavored, kunema sweeteners. Na ufuna linanchi hambe market uthele linanchi likhona linanchi eliqathe uyalihla linanchi hayi leli blended hayi leli flavored oba lo flavored i-powder kwanza ukhola ukuvuvutelwe nje lo mtimba wakho angeke avume. Ngiko sikhuluma nje nganyalo sikhuluma ukuthi bo detox lesikwendawo nje thina siyathi ukuthi nasigijima siyanatha sanatha kukhanda ukuthi sesinatha bo ice nasigijima sesidiniwe sidla botingwa siyaservice nyalo lo ngishilo ukuthi si detox siservice lo mtimba but siuservice kanjani the natural way ukuthi asengidle ama fruits and veg oba endala ama fruits and veg phela sasishiwe vele ensimini yase Eden phela kwakungude ama spice lapho kwakude ini lo mtimba la ngifaka mina lama fruit and veg utayifuna lenyama kuleli viki leyo phela ukugeza utayifuna uthatha kuphi uthatha khona la bengathi besokuqala khona umkhaba utaqala khona lapho ngathi inzamo bese ikhukumuka ubone umuntu ukuthi lo muntu lo wehla the natural way kude nje ukuthi uyafoqwa ngathi uyagula wehla the natural way because eating clean, exercising and resting well cala ngale tinto leti lokunye awusi professional phela unathelani nje into takwehliso uya competition ini khona lapho kuthi umuntu lo wehle biggest loser or wehle khona awuyi na competition uyagijima so unathelani into taku enhancer oba phela kude la uyakhona utibulalelani sitawubelisa ngama sports event kude lokungathi umuntu hey lana kuwina sizumbulu lesingaka kuthi utazungazo ukuthi uti-cheat wena utidoje wena unathe into letawona umtimba wakho oba imtimba yebantu la ngaphandle yonakele and sesihlukene mina asifuna ukuhlukana nalendo lena zane ngiyo ke ukuthi aseke mema product uyi product wena be the product dibone wena oba lapho futhi into nangunayithole mahala phela easy come easy go. Mina nje I've got 21 years training ngisengubone konke but anguhawuki lokwe shortcuts till today noma ngafika namhla ukuthi bathi khona umuntu ofikile unemamasela ngaka unjani into la igijimako anguhawu bayabathi ngibajimisako angihawuki shortcut because it's never lasting. Easy come easy go kude like nasa in fact futhi itaphindze ikhiphe egamini ngoba wena ngisakwathi ukuthi bowungaka so mentally sekukulimete so utawufuna ukuhamba ngale ngcondo ukuthi ngaka noma ngabe sowufuna ubile phansi njengemoto phela na ufika emqaliseni you engage a lower gear naku lebangafuna ukwenda abantu they don't want to engage a lower gear and say let me start a journey, let me move, let me not compare myself to any other person ingami lendo my body my business. So once watitshela lokho you won't go to the shelf, you won't go to the pharmaceutical, you will go direct to the farmer buy lama veg uthenge lele tinto tifunako utende wena udle lokudla kwakho and then lena phela it's a practice, you've got a lifetime kude ukuthi njengemsebenzi ukuthi uyapensionala nini lento i lifetime. Na ungabuka abantu lesijwayelene nabo mina ngagijima ngakhanze umuntu ana 80 ngathi mina le ubonisa yini ngathi ubhale kabi la ku 80 wathi ngina 80 buka 18 nyalo ubukela ucompare 80 years lo munye umuntu ngani na uthi uyambuta lo muntu uyakutshela ukuthi I've been doing this for a long time uyakutshela lo muntu ukuthi ngiyenda lento ngiyenda holistically angikhethe emabala so ngiyosisho ukuthi lalabanye basaqala bathi ngikahle ngifuna kwehlisa sisu angeke sisu wakho sikhule ube ukahle kusho kona ukuthi udle kabi akusile sisu ukuthi usutule inyosi safika sakukhumuka wena ngema habits akho akukhumukise lesisu wena lama habits akho athi lesisu sikhuphula ama habits lesisu sitawehliswa ngilama habits akho so nasingafunza lokho sekhaya ukuthi lele nkwente emini ngitentele emini but nyalo sengiya reverse oba leli lade ngigibele lona futhi ngifuna kuhamba step by step ngiyaphansi futhi nawe yaphansi uva njani i-confident kana uthi chu hey ngaphinda uhlala kahle yini ukhanza uyalimala pha
let me get this ke Mr Tholancisa ukujubaleni angifole lokho ukhuluma ngekuthi it's wrong of me ngidawuthi ngihambe nge-internet ngifike ngithi ayisiso sami ngathi sesikhulu man ngifuna kwehlisa siso which means uthi angithole an exercise lapho khona ngito exercise the whole body which means kuba nesiso sami lesikhulu ngisho kuncama which means there is a problem you cannot train khona lesithi bita ukuthi sport training athi umuntu ngifuna kwehlisa siso kuphela or mina ngifuna ukunciphisa ama-thighs no sport training holistically trainer holistic oba kuze sikhule sikhona sikudonsaka iback nawasa exercise iyona sikhona lesikudonsaka on the side nawasa exercise ikona ke oba lesisu sisibuyele lama muscle sidonseka kusuka emuva ngisho netibunda yonke lento so wena train holistic ngiyo lokuthi ungajayi ukukhetha liphathi thide ungaboni umuntu hey ngifuna uyabona nje abantu la drobheni ohamba ukhanze lo munye I think seku common sonke sesingena online ngibuke ukuthi ngabe vele ngingakhona kanjani ukukhulisa maybe kunciphisa sisu sami ngakhona kanjani ukukhulisa my abs
lapho ke kunebanika athi bakhona bagathe wena loluthi awathi uzenjani bakuthengisele letinto kanzi wena ufuna ukuthengisela lo mqondo ukuthi lesisu lesi ngilokudla anti sisu kudla lokudlile wanga exercise na ushintsha lokudla immediately lo mtimba uthatha khona la kuma reserve umtimba wakudala umechanical uthatha khona la kuma reserve uyayibhena ke nyalo lento athi umuntu sengibulawa indlala coach uthi angidle kanje sengibulawa nje akusindlala lento sinestunge logandaganda lapho yabo ujwayele lento lomnika yona adlala ngayo namhla sekude lama toys so ufaka lento le sigcine siyakwata sisu siyabuya sitibonile nanibuka labo times ku before and after bonke labantu labo abakathengiswe lama product bonke labantu labo bafike badudla washintshe ama habits ngiyo lento lefuneka ukuthi noma ungaya kuphi exercise it doesn't have to cost you a credit card ku live health umuntu ujumpa naye market naye ayofuna into la ibale ku internet le kwanza ukuthi noma kungangeligwava lingaka ku80 rand lapha emarket bongathola lipentshisi uthola ngisho lekusaka lonke ulifake deep freezer ucobo wathi ukuthi udabofaka ku blend so thina sifuna kwenda ama perfectionist ngeke vele i-perfectionist ngiyo le ifuna kuluza 10 kg kodwa ayikwati kuluza 1 kg yabo i-perfectionist ngiyo le ifuna ukuthi ifuna ukugijima 10 kilometers kodwa I have an attempt a 1 kilometer yabo because nani na sifuna come back to the internet and post and pretend to be strong yet we are not strong even in these trying times yabo COVID where we need to be asking ourselves ukuthi mbamba sifunani thini ngito lethi cast ukuthi ingawe lento forget about ukuthi abantu bathini mina ngangicela ukugijima kwakunebantu bebangihleka woloku sidudla ke woloku njani yini hayi uthi unathetheke imali ukhipha libhabhalasi hawolo manje ke uyabo kodwa egcine kwakhona lo muntu lobekasho lokho wagcina wabuye wathi hawu wenda ngani uyeva ukuthi ucale wathi nomuntu wathi ufelani so uphinde ubuye umuntu uthini wenda ngani kuba wamnaka ke lo muntu ke oba nayi problem yethu sinaka abantu indiza nayifuna isuke kuthiwa valani incingo icisha you cut the noise you cut the people utibuka wena uhambe ku runway yakho na uhamba la ku runway yakho vele ukhona umuntu akubona but lo muntu lo yathi ukuthi lo kwendako wena kutamthinza yena so dendele wena ngilapho nje sisho ukuthi internet kumnanzi njani ukuthi ugijima uhambe uyopostela kwakho iprogress yakho but not to post against somebody i-competition ikhona natural people mayogcoke kahle hayi nje ngicokile nje hayi nje ikhona letino lethu kubantu but hayi nas it comes to self love sikhuluma ukuthi nyalo yendo nasishumayela ukuthi cala ukuthi ithanza wena ukuthi ithanza akusho ukuthi uthenga imoto lesha akusho ukuthi uthenga indlu lesha ukuthi ithanza wena love yourself so much ukuthi uyadinakelela wena udinakelela into loyifaka la emlonyeni wakho unakekela indlela siyaphepha lapho udawulingisa thina ukwenza ukuthi sikhuluma ngeCovid nje you hear many cases oba iCovid ivirus itakubamba noma ngabe uyajima nanga uthi expose kuyo uhamba estradini ungafake bomask ungendini itakubamba but wena if lamtimbeni wakho the COVID won't have the effect njengomuntu lolunene labanye ama diseases yabo. We shouldn't expose ourselves to COVID, but we all must always exercise with the right precaution over lapha esibhedlela lapha njengoba ngishilo kugcwelela abantu labathi phatha kabi badla kabi bathi badla kamnanzi namuhla lo muntu ulapha ndawubekisa ngetifo lethi khona kude sifo sokudla ama fruits and veg kodwa sikhona senyama bo gout athi umuntu angeke ngikhona ngaphandle kwenyama kodwa uyafuna ukuthi ibone omuhle kodwa awufuna ukuhlukana nalo oba ngilama habits nako nje lesikushumayela once umuntu wamtshela ukuthi asohlukane nanako ngawubekisa nje normal talk ukuthi it's better the devil you know than the one you don't know kuthi cila igama laloko who said we need a devil hayi le habit lena vele hayi mina ngiyathi bisika vele umkhuhlane ucala ngami
sengibuka isikhathi sefu Mr. Thola ngakuthi what can you say even semaswati singahambi kunemkhuhlane iCovid-19 stress siningi ungathini nje singahambi
mental health is solution ye mental health it's a healthy body konke lokho lokubalile sikhuluma ngako lapho is start with this mental health that's why uve umuntu athi ngistress ngisayokudla ngistress ngisayakuphi labanye bayatikhunga labanye babulele bantu balenyazaneni munye umuthi wakhona kuti thanza wena watibuka wena you yourself are enough you don't have to prove yourself to anybody noma ngabe ulahlekelwe ngomsebenzi inyalo noma ngabe ulahlekelwe ungalahlekelwa impilo yakho noma ngabe siphi isimo lohamba ngaso kuba kuyafika kulamalanga but ungalahlekelwa impilo yakho dinake wena utawubona likusasa oba letini utatibekele program namhla ngento lo kusasa ngento lo ubona lishona langa bambuthe bathi unani lo kanze utibuke wena even in this COVID vala likhetini live according to the new normal ubese utithanze uqhubeke wende lawo ma exercise ubuye bo internet uyobuka ema exercise not uyobuka abantu abafit ulike oba akusingunkulu akudalela wona ukuthi uyolike udalela ukuthi uti like wena so singilapho sisho ukuthi shukuma divoqavoqe kuyimpilo and COVID or no COVID kwakuvele kunjalo and ngiko kwese ukuthi utawube ubambisene nemhlaba wonke jikelele na uthi phatha kahle ba sengito lenza bala mental health ngiyo lena zane udla kakhulu mental issues awente ukuthi nama stresses but umuntu stress yabona namhla ngivukile angenza ukuthi kwenteke intolo ngivukile namhla belina ngahamba ngadivoqavoqa la ngivuqa khona kwaphela kongakhohlwa nalokunye nakwanamuhla ngidawenda kanjalo ngiloku lesikucelako thina
siyabonga kakhulu Mr. Thola kuba nasi lomhlekiseni
sibonga thina
mala nganamahla besihlisene nabo bakazithande athletics group basitekisa yona indaba ukuthi phela kulesikhathi lesikufuna ukuthi sithanze bathi ingawe lemvo lesikhathi manje siyayita itolo kafishane ngibiyengelo phetha luhlelo Kusile good morning
Pay your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo. Simply dial *007 *3 hash and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the amount you wish to pay. Then enter your PIN to confirm your payment. Once your payment has been made, you will receive a confirmation SMS of your payment. If you're a first-time payer, you get another SMS for your TV license. So legalize your entertainment from the comfort of your home. Pay your TV license the easy and convenient way with MTN Momo.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Namahle besethelona luhlelo Kusile breakfast show umsombuluko siyathemba ukuthi nifokode kakhulu ukuhlalisana nathi ehlelweni lomuhla lapho khona besibuka yona indzaba yemkhuhlane eCovid-19 saphinde sabuka yona indzaba phela ukuthi ngabe ngiphepha kanjani mina kakhulu kade nangisekhaya ngakhona ukuthi ngivocavoca bayasho ukuthi bakazithande ukuthi ingawe lento icala kuwe kufuna ukuthi wena ususe nama habits la khona around icale khona engcomveni njoba asho mhlabuhlangene ukuthi a healthy living promotes mental health, be active yasho ukuthi asicubeke sivocavoce lesikhathi lesimandla ngale mahle sinifisa kuka lokuhle enhlanzela kodwa umsakazo wethu Eswatini TV nisale kahle.